You're watching the Big 12 on ESPN from Stillwater, Oklahoma. Kickoff just moments away, ASU and OSU. And before kickoff, let's go down to the sidelines and say hi to Tiffany Blackman.
Hey guys, Coach Mike Gundy had some high praise for Spencer Sanders when we sat down with him this week following the quarterback's performance in that season opener. Now Gundy said that Sanders' control of the offense on an intellectual level is as good as anybody that has played in this system. And we know what Sanders does with this up-tempo offense, it makes them go. Gundy said he knows exactly where he wants to throw the football. Last week, they had 7 touchdown drives in 2 minutes or less. And Spencer told me he thinks they can play even faster. But guys, we got some wind picking up down here. We'll see if that factors into what they do tonight.
Thank you, Tiffany. We are definitely going to be paying attention to that as a part of the story. I tell you what, for the broadcasters, it's a part of the story. It is really windy where we are. The kickoff goes to the goal line and returnable for Oklahoma State, and a good return outside the 30 and the 35 and all the way to the 40 and even farther than that. Jaden Nixon. What a great start for Oklahoma State. So the Cowboys offense, which last week didn't need a lot of help, gets help with the good field position to start the game. And their quarterback, Rod, just talked about him in the open. Spencer Sanders, he has played a lot of football for this team. He was a great high school player. In fact, the Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Texas all the way back in 2017. Took over as a starter here in 2019. Here we are in 2022. Still the starting quarterback, Big 12 offensive. Freshman of the year last year is all Big 12 first team quarterback. Led the league in total offense, and he almost fumbles the snap on the first play of this game, but he did a nice job of securing the ball, and he actually got almost 4 yards on first down.
Yeah, good job. A self-proclaimed mama's boy. He said he learned a long time ago from dad to honor and respect mom, and he calls her every morning.
Okay, that's a good son. My mom's going to be mad when she hears that.
We all pale in comparison.
Dominic Richardson in the backfield gets the handoff. Oklahoma State looking for some more running production from their tailbacks. That'll be something to watch in this game here tonight. But the fast tempo of the Cowboys, huge factor. Sanders across the middle, completes the pass across midfield, and good enough for Cowboys first down.
Yeah, the up-tempo style is unlike anybody else's in college football. They go really, really fast. And this is going to be an issue for the Arizona State defensive linemen. Might wear them out a bit.
That was John Paul Richardson with the catch for a first down. Sanders all kinds of time. Very dangerous with his legs, but he's going to live to see another play. Just throw it away. It'll be second down.
Yeah, the challenge for Arizona State is to try and get a stop on first to second down and slow the tempo down, because Oklahoma State is at their best when they go fast on offense. They want to push the pedal as much as possible.
Yeah, that pace of play graphic, I mean, it is an incredible contrast in styles. That's going back to last year. But I think even the pace of play sometimes doesn't give the full picture of Oklahoma State's offensive style. Straight ahead run on second down, and that one was pretty well defended by ASU. Richardson with another carry.
Yeah, this is a pass first offense. You know, the running game is coming along right now. The rushing attack is really Sanders. They need to find a back who can take some of the pressure off of him in the running game.
Third down, Sanders throws short, and that tackle in the open field was a beautiful one. DJ Taylor came up and made the stop, and that play lost yardage.
Yeah, this is a really fast Arizona State defense. It's going to be interesting to see how they play tonight, because they didn't show very much last week. You know, it was pretty vanilla. They didn't have to play much man coverage. It's a team that historically likes to pressure you with 4-man rush, and they like to play man coverage. Pretty good tackling team in the open field as well.
So that was a good play by DJ Taylor. ASU's defense comes up with the stop. Now the punt will be a relatively short one. Fair catch made, though, inside the 15 by Cam Johnson. So Arizona State's offense comes on the field. All the stability of Spencer Sanders, all his experience in this program. Much different story for the Sun Devils of Arizona State. Emory Jones, who played his high school football in LaGrange, Georgia, and was one of the best quarterbacks in the country back in 2018. Under Armour All-American, went to Florida, had to wait his turn, got a chance last year to play, played a lot. He was the primary quarterback for the Gators last year and put up some big numbers. Anthony Richardson,
yep.
Sort of forced him out, and here he is in Tempe.
Yep, generational player at Florida. He decided he needed to move on, and Arizona State turned out to be the place for him.
How about the big play? Valade out into the open field on first down across midfield, and a huge gain on the ground for one of the newcomers who is going to be a star in the Pac-12. I don't think there's any doubt about that. A guy who's played great football for Wyoming, now the Arizona State running back.
Yeah, tremendous block on the right side. You saw Case Hatch 44 with a tremendous block. But you're right, Valade, more than 3,000 yards rushing at Wyoming, and he's got a little bit more pop and explosiveness than I think people realize. You know, he's stronger than you think.
Big numbers last week. Rushed for 6 touchdowns last year. This time bottled up after the 42-yard gain on the first play of scrimmage. The second play goes for a yard.
You know, that up-tempo offense for Oklahoma State, not so much for Arizona State. A little bit more pedestrian.
Yeah, very much so. How about our Chick-fil-A impact players, Rod?
Well, we just showed you Valade. He is a guy that's got to have a big game for the rushing attack for Arizona State. Tyler Lacey, part of one of the best defensive lines in all of college football for Oklahoma State.
Big, experienced, old, mean. They got some D linemen. The short pass with a lot of room out in front, and another big gain for the Sun Devils. This time Charles Hall, who's kind of a receiver, running back hybrid type player. Another ASU first down.
Yeah, and that was one of the routes that was a bit of an issue for Oklahoma State last week, and defensive coordinator Derek Mason told us, guarantee you we'll see the running back in the flat multiple times tonight, because Oklahoma State had some issues last week in communication in the secondary.
Derek Mason, first year as the D coordinator here in Stillwater. Jim Knowles, of course, went on to Ohio State. Valade got to the corner, and he gets another 10 yards. The Sun Devils moving the ball down the field.
Yeah, how about Swinson, the tight end on the edge, number 80, 6'8", 255. Got a handle. Watch left side. Watch him just make sure he gets to the edge, takes care of the contained man, and that opened up the outside for Valade. This is as good a start as Arizona State could have hoped for. Ball on the ground, using their size.
Jones in the backfield, a little play fake, and Emory Jones just got tripped up. That turned into a pretty good play for Mason Cobb to get him by the ankles, because Emory Jones, I mean, he can throw the ball, but really I think his #1 skill, he is just so dynamic in the run game.
Yeah, he is really talented, and Arizona State, they have not really used him yet. At least last week they didn't use him a lot in the quarterback run game. We expect to see that tonight. The combination of Emory Jones and Valade rushing attack with a couple of tight ends could be really beneficial for the Sun Devils.
Second down and 9 inside the 15 of Oklahoma State. On the move. First Sun Devils possession of the game. The short dump pass and then a missed tackle. Or you could give credit to Jalen Conyers and say a broken tackle for a gain down to the 9.
Well, there is more use of the receiver in the flat. This is something that we expected to see from Arizona State. Remember, this is a young secondary, young defense after all the experience they had last year that graduated or moved on to the NFL.
Yeah, lots of experience up front, not so much in the back end. Third down, ASU can get a first down around the 5. Jones in the pocket across the middle, and just a little bit high, trying to hit Swinson. It's incomplete.
A little behind him and high. He had more room in front of him. He could have led him to that and just missed him.
It's hard to go too high. Messiah Swinson, 6'8".
Yeah, you got to really put it up pretty high. Look at that.
Yeah, you're right. It was also behind. So now it'll be Carter Brown, the true freshman place kicker, had a nice debut last week, went 4 for 4. Herm Edwards' team, that was an impressive drive, but they have to settle for the field goal try. Tiffany mentioned the wind. That kick is up, and it is good. Sun Devils jump out ahead.
Yeah, that was a deliberate drive. Herm Edwards has to like it. Powerful rushing attack. ASU on the board.
Well, everything but the very end of that drive for Arizona State was really impressive. 8 plays, 78 yards, took almost 4 minutes, ended up having to settle for the field goal, but they get the 3 points. They're on the board to start this game after they forced a punt from Oklahoma State. Herm Edwards, it's his 5th year at Arizona State. And Rod, he is 6-6 against ranked opponents, and 3 of those wins have come in road games, which is a pretty impressive track record.
Yeah, and he was looking forward to finding out really what kind of team he has. You know, 51 new players, first time going on the road this season with them, trying to figure out how they would react in a hostile environment against a top-ranked team.
So Herm and his Sun Devils out to the 3-0 lead. Next week, SEC takeover really on ESPN. Number 2 Georgia going to South Carolina to take on the Gamecocks. That one's at noon Eastern. Then at 6, LSU trying to bounce back. They take on a good Mississippi State team, although we'll see. Mississippi State tonight gets Arizona out of the Pac-12, and then Miami against number 6 Texas A&M.
What is going on with A&M?
They will not be number 6 next week. We know that. Wow, what a stunner that was. The game on ESPN2 ahead of us today as the Cowboys have the ball for the 2nd time. Texas A&M got really, in a lot of ways, Rod, they got dominated at home by Appalachian State.
That is amazing.
Another handoff. This one goes left to the 30, maybe the 31. It's going to set up a 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, you notice that when Oklahoma State struggles on 1st and 2nd down, it slows down the tempo a little bit, which is exactly what Arizona State wants.
Lets the defense get a little bit more organized. Spencer Sanders in the pocket. The throw is knocked down, incomplete. Nice defense. That was Roe Torrance from behind. No penalty flag. It's 4th down.
Yeah, he is a large corner, 6'3", long arms. Came over from Auburn, one of the new players, and fits this system. They would like to play a lot more man coverage. They didn't have to do it last week, but that's going to make things a challenge for these receivers. They have to prove that they can beat single coverage.
He almost looks like a linebacker.
Yeah, he's a tall guy, tall and rangy.
Tom Hutton, who is the oldest player in college football. He's the punter. Going to try to angle this one away from a very dangerous return man, DJ Taylor. He didn't angle it anywhere. Taylor's got it. Taylor cuts it upfield, tries to spin away, and takes a big hit at the 25-yard line. That was a 52-yard punt and into the wind. That was pretty impressive. Sun Devils, though, will have the ball when we come back to Stillwater right after this.
ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by Sonos. Experience game-changing sound made easy.
ASU got to go back to Camp Tontozona, a little team building outdoor activity before the year. I mean, the funny part about it, like ex-Valladay, one of the best running backs in the country, you crash into defensive linemen, but you're too scared to walk across a plank over a creek that's probably 6 inches deep.
We don't do planks, man. That's like walking the plank for a pirate. Come on.
He had a big impact on the first drive for ASU. Xavier Valladay from Chicago, great career at Wyoming. He is the active leader in all of FBS football in rushing yards.
And he can catch the ball out of the backfield too.
He can. He's going to get the ball on 1st down, bounces outside, and then takes a big hit and goes down. For more on X, let's go down to Tiffany.
Yeah, guys, not much of an X factor on hikes, but he certainly is on the field. He told me that nickname, it means he's a guy that you can count on. He said he feels like whenever his name is called, that 10 times out of 10, I'm going to go out there and make that play. I asked him, where does that confidence come from? He said he's X Factor Junior. His father instilled it in him, guys.
Okay.
And he does. His full name is Xavier, but really he wants to be called X.
Call me X, he says.
Keep running like that, we'll call you whatever you want. Valladay, play fake to him. Jones across the middle. Nice delivery, and then the turn upfield to midfield. Elijah Badger inside Oklahoma State territory down to the 44. Man, we have seen some big plays already from this ASU offense.
Yeah, that was a tremendous play fake by Emory Jones, the quarterback. it really sold the linebackers. Watch how far they come up and create that space behind where it's an easy throw for Jones. Tremendous fake.
So the Sun Devils on the move again. 109 total yards already, and they've stymied the Oklahoma State offense. Daniel Ngata comes into the backfield now with a little offset I formation. Hatch, the fullback, another play fake down the sideline, incomplete.
How wild is it? How cool is it to actually see a huddle? You know, you see a team, you don't see it very often in college football anymore. Guys get to, you know, hang out and remind teammates of things and get your play call, and you got a tight end and a fullback in the game.
And tonight with ASU, you see a huddle, and sometimes the quarterback actually goes under center.
Yeah.
Not this time. Almost like a pistol formation for Jones. He's going to roll right and then get hit. Throws over the top. Another incompletion.
Yeah, great poise. Emory Jones did not get hurried by the fact that he was being harassed. Didn't panic. Kept his poise and threw the ball away. They were looking for a veteran quarterback after Jaden Daniels transferred to LSU. They have so many young guys. Herm Edwards told us felt they really needed an experienced quarterback, and Emory Jones was the perfect fit.
And now it's 3rd and 10. Jones pumps and incomplete. His receiver almost stopped there, intended for Badger again. It's 4th and 10. If they'd gotten 5 yards there, Rod, maybe Arizona State thinks about going for it.
Yeah, Derek Mason dialed up the pressure that time. Oklahoma State bringing their inside linebackers. A little bit of pressure on Emory Jones.
And they do rely on pressure. I mean, no team had more sacks than Oklahoma State last year. Nobody.
57 or something like that.
57 sacks for the year. So Jones, they got inside Oklahoma State territory, but no farther. The punt and the fair catch right around the 10, called by Presley. 35-yard punt, no return. Let's check in studio with Matt Berry.
Lemon, thank you. Time now for your AT&T 5G studio update. Going to go out west, USC Stanford. Caleb Williams to late McCree. This one early, 7-0 USC over on ABC.
And by the way, I was rushing to get to studio there. We really needed a better intro for Matt Berry, one of ASU's finest.
Prominent.
Matt has a rooting interest in our game tonight. So a good start for USC. A lot of people question that top 10 ranking for the Trojans. Sanders, man, what a dangerous throw, and somehow he fit it in there to John Paul Richardson. First down, Cowboys.
You know, Sanders has been polarizing for some Oklahoma State fans because he'll make great plays, and he's also turned the ball over at times. And so at times they get a little bit antsy.
That one was dropped. That was a pretty easy throw.
Yeah.
Braden Johnson had a big week 1, just out and out dropped that one.
They take you back to this well-thrown ball right over linebackers. Watch him drop this one in. A nice catch. Little dangerous area, but gets away with it. Ooh.
That made me nervous.
That's into the wind a little bit. I think that held it up some.
Might have. That was a really good catch. Now the quick hitter on the left side, complete. That's an Oklahoma State first down. There's Presley, who's a little bit more of a possession type receiver. Cowboys have a proud tradition of a star at that wideout spot. There are a couple penalty flags, by the way, and now we got a little scrum. Tautala Pesafea in the middle of it. Big dude.
Not known to walk away from confrontations. 315 pounds.
Personal foul roughing the passer. Defense number 44. Late hit to the quarterback. 15 yards from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Steve Strimling, part of our Pac-12 officiating crew. Oh man, that's blatant. You can't do that.
No, it's not even close. And kudos to the Oklahoma State offensive linemen for trying to protect their guy.
Yeah, I don't blame them one bit.
Yeah.
So now Oklahoma State into Arizona State territory. Across midfield, Sanders on first down, throws right, incomplete. overthrew Braden Johnson.
Now that's what you want to have Sanders do if you're Arizona State. You want to force throws outside the numbers. You want to make sure that he doesn't have the middle of the field. You see what Arizona State last season was. They had a tough time with penalties.
Oh, we saw some games, Rod, you and I, where they went like 6 plays in a row with a penalty. Huge hit on Sanders. The all-out pressure up the middle. Now another flag is thrown. This one might have been after the play. I'm not sure that was a late hit. I thought that was a clean hit. We'll see.
Yeah, that flag came out late. It looks like it's probably against Oklahoma State.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense, number 73. Puts the opponent in the face while trying to get up. 15-yard penalty. That's number 73's first of the game. The down counts. 3rd down.
And Jason Brooks. So the big penalty answered by Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
The down counts. That makes it even worse.
Yeah, and that's going a bit far in trying to protect your quarterback. Look, Arizona State comes into this ball game focused on hitting the quarterback. Donnie Henderson, their defensive coordinator, knows full well the best way to intimidate a quarterback is to get hits on him. Doesn't mean you sack him all the time, but you got to get hits on him.
So it's 3rd down. The yardage marker on the field says 2nd down. It's not 2nd down. It's 3rd down, and Oklahoma State barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. So they got across midfield, and then they went backwards.
Yeah. You know, we were talking before the game about Arizona State's defensive philosophy. Historically, they are a man-to-man pressure team. But when you go back and look at film, Baylor has played Oklahoma State really well by playing a lot of zone coverage or mixing zone and man concepts and rushing for getting hits on Sanders. And so I expect to see a lot more of that from Arizona State tonight.
Joe Moore, one of the most important players along the front for ASU, is the player who is down. There was, and I want to get back to the point you were making there. I think we will. There was a lot of confusion. The guy holding the down marker on the far side from us, the ASU sideline, had the down wrong. It is 4th down. Oklahoma State was unhappy about that, but it is 4th down. So, it's 4th down. Yeah.
I think he got confused on the personal foul.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, all good now.
That's a 4. Sorry. He's doing it. He's just trying. He's just trying.
Got to focus, right? Pay attention.
I mean, that's kind of an important detail.
You think?
DJ Taylor back to receive the punt from Hutton, who again tries to punch that one through the wind. Taylor, no fair catch. DJ Taylor got to the 20. Good coverage from the Cowboys, because he could be really, really dynamic in the open field. But Arizona State's defense holding up in the first quarter here in Stillwater. The Sun Devils lead 3-0.
Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it.
Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40. I'm not a kid. Write something about me.
2 of the all-time great quotes in the history of this sport from those 2 gentlemen. 2 great coaches, really interesting, engaging people, 2 of our favorites in the game. But forever and ever, as long as they coach, as much as they accomplish, those 2 guys will be remembered in part for an all-time great moment at the podium.
Which one is better? Which quote do you think lives at the top of the chart?
I mean, the Jim Mora's playoffs is hard to beat. That's a good one. Those 2 are 2 of the most memorable in the history of football. Valladay kept his balance on 2nd down and runs left side. In today's college football, I mean, maybe a Sam Pittman, Lane Kiffin matchup, you could get better sound bites. How about what they travel with at ASU?
So it clearly means something. They carry it. Now, big 3rd down coming up. And if you are Oklahoma State defensively, you see this every week in the locker room. They got it.
You play to win the game. That's what you do.
You have to be aware of the back out of the backfield. The throw into the flat.
Denny Green, that was a good one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Sorry,
Crown him.
I can't move on.
Crown him.
Pressure comes Jones, and it somehow was caught. Kind of floated up there by Badger, but the tackle short. Colin Oliver put the big-time pressure on, and Arizona State for the first time is going to go 3 and out.
Yeah, good pressure. Dialed it up that time. Oliver, who really is sort of their fifth defensive lineman, had a great season last year, bringing a lot of pressure off the edge, and just destroyed the would-be blocker there.
The unanimous Big 12 Freshman of the Year on defense last year, Colin Oliver. That was a nice play. Shaplitsky, the punter. He's got a big leg. He's got the wind behind him, and that one boomed inside the 20. So far, maybe beyond the coverage, although the coverage got their 56-yard punt without much of a return. So tomorrow on Sunday Night Countdown, while we have a minute, the first full week of the NFL. We've already had one game in the books. Dak Prescott sits down before he takes the Bucs. All access inside. Raiders, Devontae Adams, a big star moving to a new spot here before the year. That's at 10 Eastern on ESPN. And then Monday Night Football season begins. How about this matchup? Russell Wilson in Denver goes back to Seattle for his first game. Monday, 8 Eastern. All those places, ESPN, ABC, ESPN Plus, Deportes. Monday Night Football, week 1, great matchup. First down carry for Oklahoma State.
Great start for Oklahoma State. They haven't been able to run the ball. That's the first opening drive run that got them good yardage.
Now the quick tempo, the pass out on the right sideline, wide open, and the pass caught by Johnson. First down, Cowboys.
And here comes the tempo. They will hurry to the line of scrimmage.
He's been frustrated on offense so far today. Certainly a different story than week 1. Sanders started to take off, somehow got through. There is a penalty flag back in the backfield. What a run from Spencer Sanders. Not huge yardage, but really a spectacular play. But this one might be coming back.
Holding, offense number 73. 10-yard penalty, second down.
Wow, that's Jason
Yeah,
Brooks.
his second
Big penalty.
penalty of the day.
That's a big one.
Tremendous effort by Sanders to get loose, all for naught.
Jason disagrees with that penalty.
You know, and having control of the tempo of the game makes such a big difference. And you see on the right side, there's Brooks, and yeah, he's from behind grabbing the jersey. Not as blatant as you would think, but enough to get flagged.
And he's coming out of the game.
Yep.
Is that Jake Springfield who's coming back in? So Brooks, that's 2 big penalties on him, and he's out. First and 20. Sanders throws left. That one knocked away incomplete. Nice hit there by Tamarcus Davis.
And Arizona State's okay with that. They're okay with those throws outside the numbers. They want to encourage that. They don't want the throw up the seam, the throw in the middle of the field.
Yes, you brought some folks here to Stillwater. There has been a lot of speculation about this Pac-12 Big 12 matchup. Sanders again breaks free, and Arizona State's had a couple chances for tackles right at the line of scrimmage and hasn't been able to get Sanders to the turf.
You get the feeling that off the field, the Pac-12 and the Big 12 aren't the best of friends these days.
And not right now. But there's been a lot of speculation about the possibility in one direction or the other. Somehow, someday, might these two teams be conference opponents?
Yep.
On third down and long, Sanders all kinds of time, throws middle, and it's caught into Arizona State territory. That's Braden Johnson. First down, Cowboys.
Tremendous patience. They ran a double slant, one shorter than the one behind it, and it pulled the linebackers to the side to open the window. And
it's an 18-yard gain. Now first down, the throw caught again, going down to keep it from hitting the turf. That was a nice play by Bryson Green.
I'm impressed with Spencer Sanders' patience and waiting and staying with the receiver after looking off the coverage.
Well, you're seeing how tough he can be to stop.
You just watch, you see a double slant coming across, and the linebackers go and leave the second slant wide open.
Now whistles.
First charge timeout.
And I think Arizona State was not quite
30
organized for second and short. They call a timeout. So we'll keep it here. 2nd and 1 coming up. Final minute of quarter number 1. A quarter that's really been dominated, might be too strong a word, but Arizona State has outplayed the number 11 ranked team in the country on the road. I mean, we were talking about the drama between the two conferences. One conference has been a lot louder than the other.
That's right.
I mean, you go back to the media day for the Pac-12. George Kliavkoff, the Pac-12 commissioner, he did have a pointed comment with respect to the Big 12 being open for business. I appreciate that. We haven't decided if we're going to go shopping there yet or not. Brett Yormark very recently, just on Wednesday, going out west is where I would like to go. I mean, he sort of circled the Pac-12 and said, we're coming for you.
Yeah, talked about Pac-12 possible teams and teams out west that they might pursue, and you know, all is not friendly between the two conferences.
And Mike Gundy sort of gave his own opinion on Monday this week. He was asked about facing a team for the Pac-12. What does he think about the prospects for both leagues going forward? And Mike said, I like our position a lot better than their position. So he kind of threw some fuel on the fire. First down pass play and a bounce outside. Tough running after the catch. Brendan Presley.
But doesn't Gundy have to say that? I mean, he's got to be all in on the Big 12.
Well, not every coach has been as vocal as he's been. I mean, I think every coach is behind the scenes advocating for their conference. Mike, as we saw in the sound clip a few minutes ago, is not shy about voicing his opinion. That one is intercepted. Intercepted across the middle. Kyle Soley just read it perfectly.
First down, Arizona State.
And
Oklahoma State moving the ball down the field, Rod, and then the turnover.
Well, this is what we talked about. Arizona State getting away from the man coverage and playing some zone like Baylor did last year against Oklahoma State. Watch Soley. He just drops into space there, and not for 1 second did Sanders see him. He's assuming man coverage, not recognizing the linebacker is dropping to a spot, throws it right to him. And, you know, this has been sort of the history that has frustrated some fans, that great plays and then the turnover. Remember last season, he had 7 picks against Baylor in 2 games.
Well, Kyle Soley's already got 2 picks from his linebacker spot this year. He had one in week 1. That was a nice play by Soley. You're right. Sanders never saw him. So the long drive, no points. Jones is going to be wrestled down from behind. Just power football there for the Cowboys defensive line, and Colin Oliver, 2 great plays in a row.
That's a grown man play.
That's the end of the first quarter.
He's driving your guy back and then reaching around with one arm, one hand, and pulling down the quarterback. That's grown man strength.
So for all the good that Arizona State did in that first half, the first quarter rather, ends with a big play for the Cowboys.
Welcome back to Stillwater, where Cowboys quarterback Spencer Sanders threw an interception just before the end of the first quarter. Well, he was walking around talking to his teammates, patting his chest, saying, my fault, my fault. And that just speaks to what offensive coordinator Casey Dunn told us about the mature leader he has become for them and how he's been great at letting things roll off his back, guys.
And I think that is true, Tiffany. Thank you. As Emory Jones and the ASU offense back to work, 2nd and long, and a nice delivery there right near that first down mark to Elijah Badger, who's been the favorite target for the Sun Devils so far in this first half. But the issue isn't going away. I mean, Spencer Sanders, all the spectacular stuff, you got to protect the ball.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And that's been the criticism. But look, he's an outstanding player. There's a lot on his shoulders, and he understands that. And he's going to have to make plays, both throwing the ball and with his legs, for Oklahoma State to win tonight.
And they did give forward progress. Badger just got there, so that's enough for a first down, Arizona State. Under center, Jones will hand it off. Valladay, who has had great success going to the outside in the first 2 weeks of this year.
Yeah, you know, Oklahoma State doesn't see a lot of power running like this, and it's hard to practice against offensive linemen pulling, tight ends blocking down. Since their offense doesn't do it, they don't see it. So they're getting accustomed to this in this game, and they'll have to adjust to it as it comes along because it's not something that they're familiar with.
And big number 77 up front, Ladarius Henderson. To me, that's one of the better interior offensive linemen in the country. And he just mauled one of those D linemen pulling on that second down run play. Now Oklahoma State played it well and stopped Arizona State for a short gain. It'll be third down.
Yeah, he's 6'5", 310, and you know, his first game was 4 years ago. 17-year-old freshman at Michigan State. Watch number 77 at that guard spot. Watch how athletic he is. He moves nicely and delivers a blow.
Yeah, that guy could play. You're right. He started so young. He was he might have been for a minute, he might have been the youngest player in college football. On third down, Jones hands it off and close, but I don't know that Ngata got there.
Yeah, I don't think he did.
That was a good tackle. He's short. Now, how gutsy does Herm Edwards want to be? It's short by, what, a foot?
Yeah, now typically this is Herm kicking the ball, but he might like the way his offensive line has been playing tonight.
I don't see a punter coming out on the field.
Nope. And remember, this is a really good defensive line, not the biggest. So expect Oklahoma State to move that defensive front, attack, and not sit there for the big guys to lean on you.
ASU's a little disorganized coming to the line, and I think they're going to need a timeout. They will call timeout.
Second charge timeout.
Well, it's too important of a play if you're not lined up and ready to go. You need to use that timeout. So we'll take a timeout ourselves, and we'll see if Herm Edwards still wants to go for it when we come back right after this. Well, it is still fourth down, but in the timeout, Arizona State decided that they didn't want to go for it. So they burned a timeout in the second quarter, and then they're going to punt the ball away. Shaplitsky with the wind, I think, definitely impacting that one. It is so windy. We're up on the roof. It is incredibly windy where we are. Maybe less so down on the field inside the stadium. But Oklahoma State will get the ball back after forcing the punt of 43 yards. This season, All-State will celebrate every field goal and extra point made by participating universities by making a donation to the university's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you, All-State.
Cowboys have to find a rhythm. They have not been operating at their pace. First down stops made it difficult for them. Look at that. 4 drives, 3 punts and a pick.
Last time they had it, it looked more cowboy-like. Casey Dunn, the offensive coordinator, has done a really good job here and loves that up-tempo, that quick hitter, the screen to Presley. But Pesafea was there with some help. Short gain.
Yeah, up-tempo struggles when you don't get anything on first down.
Second and long, and the handoff. That one was well defended out to the 20, but no more. It'll be third down and 5. Omar Norman Lott. ASU, so much turnover on this Sun Devils roster. They do have some experience up front. Norman Lott, Joe Moore, Trevez Moore.
Yep.
Some transfer help, guys who played a lot of football.
The Soley brothers.
Yeah, those guys at the linebacker spots. Kyle already has an interception in this game. Third and 5. Four-man rush. Sanders goes over the top, and it's going to be almost intercepted. Wow, great coverage, I thought. Kewan Markham.
Well, it's surprising because Mike Gundy loves his wide receivers, and he thinks this is a great group, but they are struggling to beat man coverage. Now, Arizona State isn't playing man every play, but when they do, they've won the battle. Look at this. Great position. Good hand on there. Get your hand off when the ball's in the air. Played very well.
It was. I got to correct myself. His brother came over to congratulate him, but that was Keon Markham who had the coverage there. Number 13 to number 12. So the Cowboys quick 3 and out. Taylor, another returnable punt here. Again, trying to get to that corner and just can't do it. Good special teams coverage in this first half. That return lost 5 yards for the Sun Devils. 11:08 to go until halftime here in Stillwater. Spencer Sanders in the offense struggling. Barry Sanders, he was pretty good, wasn't he?
No, did a thing or two.
ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Sonos, is brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need.
Well, they have a great tradition of running backs here in this Oklahoma State program. 3 college football Hall of Famers: Thurman Thomas, Barry Sanders, a guy who maybe has not been appreciated in the history of the game as much as he should have. He's being appreciated now. Terry Miller's going into the College Football Hall of Fame this December, and they honored him on the field in between the first and second quarters.
Terrific college player, terrific NFL player. And you're right, he's the guy that gets forgotten when you talk about the great Oklahoma State running backs. Barry Sanders comes to mind, Thurman Thomas, but Terry Miller is also in that group.
It was great to see Terry looking good with a big smile on his face. Back to football here, and Valladay breaking tackles. Valladay having a nice first half. Arizona State with the ball. 11 minutes to go until halftime. The only points, Sun Devils field goal. That's it.
I'm surprised Arizona State hasn't attacked the secondary more, given the communication problems the Cowboys had last week. They had a lot of blown coverages. I would expect that Arizona State would try and take advantage of that. Haven't done so yet.
2nd and 3. Emory Jones under center. Hand off left side, and that big, strong defensive line was there waiting, but the play only now is getting blown dead. Now the ball came out at the very end. I think the whistle
was ruled down, 3rd down.
Tyler Lacey, guy who's trying to sell the fact that the ball came out. How big is Tyler? He plays defensive end for this team.
Yeah, they move him down inside sometimes. 285, 290 pounds. He's probably the best defensive lineman they have in a group of stellar guys who are really athletic and quick. Are they quick enough on this, what should be a short running play? Are they quick enough to push the line of scrimmage back?
Jones trying to change the formation. Play clock winding down. They got to get the ball snapped. They do. And the handoff in the backfield. Now the ball does come out. The tackle for loss, plus the ball's on the turf, and it's Oklahoma State football.
And it was about quickness, attacking. Tyler Lacey, we just talked about him.
The ball before he was down.
Use his quickness to knife in there and meet the ball carrier as soon as Emory Jones tried to give it to him. There he is. You see he's up at the top of your screen. At the bottom of your screen is number 9. That is Brock Martin who knifes in, but it was 89 Lacey who recovered the ball. But a good knifing effort by Brock Martin. We talked about the quickness of his defensive line. You saw it right there.
The guy they call Dad, he's been around forever, and he could play. So that's a big play by the Cowboys defensive line. The ruling on the field, they were going to take a quick look.
The previous play is under further review.
And the quick look didn't work, so now they're going to actually review it. I thought, based on our replays, that knee never went down. The ball had come out. I thought.
Well, your first thought is usually pretty good.
But I was also concentrating on Brock Martin and Tyler Lacey. So it's worth another, again, just to see if we were right.
Well, Brock Martin certainly does get your attention, especially when he knifes in like that. They've got the big board here in the stadium, and so they put up all the angles that the officials are looking at so the fans can see it as well.
And those knees were definitely, he was lying on top of Martin, but he was not on the turf. To me, there's not much question that that ball's out.
Yeah,
that should be a quick call. Operative word being should.
How about that defensive line? You know, we knew coming in that this is one of the best defensive lines in the country. Not the biggest, but they've got 10, 12 guys that they'll rotate and play because they're so quick and active.
I mean, it is kind of cool how they do it. That's like a little inside look into what our director, Mike Griffin, and all our tech folks see in our truck. All the shots, the cameras labeled. Near high home, left 25-yard line, 50-yard line shot. Brock Martin's going, well, what else do you need to see?
It's like it's too much to look at.
After review, the ruling of fumble and recovery is
That ball
confirmed.
is
First down.
out before his shoulder hits the ground.
All right, so we got the confirmation. It'll be Oklahoma State ball, and let's send it down to the sideline and Tiffany.
Dave, you mentioned that Brock's nickname is Dad. Well, it was given to him by defensive end Trace Ford. And Brock said he didn't mind that Trace shared it with the media. He's always kind of just took him under his wing, and it's kind of their little go-to thing that they call each other. Defensive coordinator Derek Mason refers to them as father and son.
Thank you, Tiffany. The four-time first-team academic Big 12 member. Handoff and a booming hit from the running back. Straight ahead run for a nice gain for Oklahoma State. That's Dominic Richardson.
And that's what this offense has been missing. It's been missing a running back who can run inside and take some pressure off of Sanders.
And off to Richardson again, inside again, and another nice gain inside the 20. And more powerful running from the junior from Oklahoma City.
Yeah, good job by the right side of that line. Preston Wilson, Hunter Woodard, little inside zone, stretching their guy out to the right side.
Cowboys on the move after coming up with the turnover. Sanders keeps. Sanders to the 10. And even Sanders, the quarterback, doesn't want to go down quietly.
Yeah, I don't want him lowering that right shoulder, though, taking on a block, taking on a tackler.
Yeah, you need that right shoulder for something else.
Yeah, you got to keep him healthy.
First and goal, Oklahoma State. Receiver in motion, handoff, left side, and Richardson stopped inside the 5.
You feel the change in the rhythm for Oklahoma State. The pace is where they want it.
Richardson to Sanders' right in the backfield. Richardson gets it. Touchdown, Oklahoma State.
Well, that was easy.
They sure made it look easy.
Well, they got the rushing game going with Richardson in the backfield, and that opened things up. I mean, look at the left side. Watch the good blocking. Just creates a little lane there. Solely 34 late coming over because couldn't climb over the lineman in the block.
5 plays, 37 yards. There's the quick strike offense we were expecting. It took just a minute 13, and that extra point perfect.
You got to score after you get the takeaway. They caused the fumble, changed the momentum, get a little rhythm going. Sanders feeling good, get some help from Dominic Richardson, and all of a sudden the Cowboys are looking like the Cowboys.
Well, it's been such a great U.S. Open. Tomorrow, the men's final, 4 Eastern on ESPN. Casper Ruud and the 19-year-old from Spain, Carlos Alcaraz, two of the great, talented young players. He's got a chance to be an all-time great. And both of those young men are seeking their first Grand Slam title. Should be a thrilling final, 4 Eastern on ESPN. Tomorrow, the winner, by the way, new #1 ranked player in the world. So that's also at stake, aside from a first Grand Slam. The nice touchdown drive. It didn't last very long for the Cowboys.
It didn't need a whole lot of time because they had a short field and they found their rushing attack. Someone other than Sanders. Dominic Richardson came alive on that drive, and then you sprinkle in a little Spencer Sanders and finish it off with the big back, Richardson. And now you feel the momentum change. You feel like Oklahoma State is finding their own rhythm, their own style again.
And part of that is Arizona State's offense is kind of stalled out. The Sun Devils were moving the ball early in this game, and they haven't looked as organized. They had some blown plays. Emory Jones, the transfer from Florida at quarterback, hands it off on first down. Valladay, a gain of 2, maybe 3 yards.
Yeah, right now that defensive line is too quick. for Arizona State's front. And Arizona State's going to have to switch it up. Maybe a little bit quarterback run game. We talked earlier also about attacking that secondary that had some trouble last week.
Jones under center, a play fake in the pocket, throws middle and just sings it in there, complete to one of those talented tight ends. This is Messiah Swinson, who's really an interesting story.
Yeah, he's really something. A guy came over from Missouri. Did not catch many balls at Missouri.
Two of them last year.
Yeah, two. He's found his place. Young man who he lost his dad when he was entering the 8th grade. Died prematurely at 43 of a heart attack. And then it took a village. Al Harrington, former Chicago Bears linebacker, and other friends of his father stepped in to become a mentor for him.
Jones pressured on first down, and it's incomplete. Let's go down to Tiffany.
Yeah, and Rod, now, you know, Messiah's got Coach Herb Edwards to be with him as well. So he's got some good guys surrounding him. He said he was getting calls and texts from other coaches when he entered that transfer portal. But when Coach Edwards called him, he had a wow moment. He told me he wanted him to play tight end for them. And he said this was so exciting for him that even his mom knew who Herb Edwards was because she'd seen him in commercials and on ESPN.
His mom sure had seen the quote we played earlier. Second down and 10. Handoff on like a jet sweep style play that went nowhere.
Well, Tiffany mentioned that Swinson has a lot of good men in his life. You know, it's just a reminder of, you know, it takes a village, and having all those friends step in to help out when his father passed away. It's just a fantastic story.
We don't know what was going on at Missouri. Their offense is designed a little differently, a lot differently than this one. But he's 6'8" with good hands, and they threw it to him 2 times last year.
Yeah.
Arizona State's going to use him a lot more. Third down at 10. Jones throws middle, kind of floated it out there. Badger with the catch, but had nowhere to go.
That
Tackled in the open field.
Great open field tackle by Jason Taylor. Open field tackling is an issue early in the season because you don't get a chance to practice it in camp. You know, it's just not one of those things. It's too dangerous. And now you get an open field chance. Look at that. Good wrap up. Takes him down. Not easy to do.
So the Cowboys force the punt. Shaplitsky will bounce that one inside the 10. Can somebody get down there? Yes. Great coverage from the Sun Devils. Oklahoma State's offense is going to have the ball inside the 5-yard line. That was good special teams execution. Well, our college football rankings brought to you by Goodyear. And these rankings, Rod, are going to change.
Oh, boy,
after this
are
week.
they. What in the world is going to happen at Texas A&M now? This was supposed to be A&M's year, their year to chase Alabama in the SEC West, and App State knocks them off. And how about Notre Dame? Good for Marshall. Big win there.
Well, it's a great win for Marshall. I mean, if I'm a voter, Notre Dame's out of the top 25.
Easily.
I mean, it's hard to go from 8 to unranked.
Yeah, well, Texas A&M should come out too.
What a day of some upsets. How about Washington State in the Pac-12 going to Wisconsin?
Tough place to play.
Beating the Badgers. Really impressive win. First down for the Cowboys inside the 5, and well stuffed by the ASU defensive line.
You thought week 1 was crazy and you wouldn't see any other weeks like that. How about Texas almost knocking off Alabama today? A late field goal to keep the Tide as the #1 team.
Yeah, Alabama was supremely tested. Sanders, that pass complete and close. The extra effort there at the end of that play by Johnson, and they may well give Oklahoma State a first down. We'll see. I think they spotted him just a little bit short.
Look how fast they get to the line of scrimmage.
They don't want to waste any time. The handoff on 3rd and short, just enough. And you get there quickly, hand the ball off. It's hard for the defense to be ready.
Yeah, and remember now, Arizona State has to get a defensive signal in, so they look to the sideline to get the signal. Every player on the defense, and you don't want to get caught looking to the sideline while Oklahoma State's running a play.
First down, Cowboys. Sanders fakes. Sanders keeps and then goes into the stylish slide.
You see, what gets ignored about this, if you look to the sideline to get your call, now when you turn back, you have to diagnose what the formation is and what's going on.
Sanders throws on the move, incomplete. And here comes the penalty flag. It came late, but it came. DJ Taylor in coverage there.
We've had a
Pass interference on the defense, number 3. Ball be placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
a lot of pass interference calls this weekend in college football. And talking to the officials before the game, you know, they reminded me, listen, this is a contact sport, and they only want to call pass interference when there is clearly an advantage taken by one player or the other. Contact alone is not going to be enough. They want to let them play as much as possible.
DJ Taylor, who's had a couple good plays already in this game, immediately was rolling around on the turf in pain. So do we think we got the big advantage with that pass interference call?
It's a little tough. I'm not sure that was as blatant and as aggressive as you'd normally get on a pass interference call, and it looked like maybe he hit his head on the turf at the end of that play.
Yeah, maybe. DJ Taylor is going to sit up and get up. Well, that's a good sign. Taylor is going to jog off the field. Well, we hope that DJ Taylor's okay. The penalty means it's another first down for the Cowboys. Under 5 minutes to go in this first half. Arizona State controlled the first quarter and maybe even into this second quarter, but the Cowboys are starting to assert themselves.
Yeah, Arizona State didn't put enough points on the board when they had control of the tempo, and now Oklahoma State has control of the tempo of this game.
Got to get off the field, coach. He did. Sanders handoff. Richardson left side. Richardson sort of strung out, but still got around that corner and got all the way out to the 40.
Surprising quickness by Richardson allowed him to get to the edge there.
They have multiple weapons in the backfield, but tonight it's been Dominic Richardson who has hogged the carries, 13 of them already. That pass was in the air a long time, and it was knocked away by Big Roe Torrance, incomplete.
That's that long throw we talk about, that NFL throw from hash mark to the sideline. Got to have a strong arm for it. And how about the way that was defended over there? Roe Torrance, 6'3", long arms.
3rd and 4. Sanders, almost like he was thinking about running right from the start. He gets the first down and more. Gets upended near midfield. But a first down, Oklahoma State.
And Arizona State had a spy waiting for him to run, but Oklahoma State did a good job of blocking the spy. Middle of your screen right there. There's the spy. Can't get over. Good block, and yeah, another player down for Arizona State.
Defensive lineman Nesta Jade Silvera, who is a Miami transfer. Big dude who's played a lot of football in the middle of things. Not putting much weight on that left leg.
Yeah, 6'2", 315 pounds. A lot of size up front for that Arizona State defensive line. You know, you worry about your defensive line getting a little fatigued and worn out when the pace is as fast as it has been for Oklahoma State.
Yeah, almost looked like the ankle got pinched a little bit and twisted. Right at midfield, first down, Cowboys. Play fake. And the throw is almost intercepted. Across the field, Jordan Clark made a great break on the ball.
That's Jordan Clark, son of our friend and colleague, Ryan Clark.
Dad's proud of that play. That was a good play.
Well, you know, Dad's hopping up and down. Catch the ball. Catch the ball. That's a tremendous effort.
Sanders on the move will dump it off, and he got shoved, and that was just completely and totally unnecessary.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 58. That's a 15-yard penalty and automatic first down.
Just a ridiculous penalty. You can't do that. You talked about cleaning things up in this program, and you just can't do that.
No. And
what are you doing?
Right. You know, and it's a player safety issue when you get near the sideline. No reason to push him out of bounds like that.
It would have been 3rd and 10 from midfield. Instead, it's 1st and 10 down at the 35. That's just inexcusable. Straight ahead run and breaking tackles down to the 25. 10 more yards on the ground for Oklahoma State.
I think that defensive line is a little winded. Not much resistance inside when you have a double team now, not fighting through it. Not a linebacker coming off the double team and moving a little bit slowly down inside there for Arizona State.
Dominic Richardson's really playing well. Sanders throws left side, the turn upfield, staying in bounds inside the 10. Bryson Green with the catch and run, 1st and goal.
Run pass option. Spencer Sanders working it to perfection there, riding that mesh, making sure he's got room on the outside and then letting it fly.
A lot of hands on hips for the ASU defense.
Yeah, winded.
Sanders over the top, incomplete.
Great coverage there by Jordan Clark. Again, he's played well. Missed last week's ball game. They're happy to have him back in the lineup.
Played his high school football in his hometown of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Came to Tempe to play for Herm Edwards. He's a good player. Option. Sanders keeps it. Sanders, touchdown.
That's a quarterback. He looked like a halfback on that. He put his foot in the ground and cut up field.
That's tough to defend.
Oh, man. He goes from horizontal to vertical quickly, and there was no chance to stop him. Watch this. This is a quarterback. This is a running back move. That's tremendous.
Well, all the good play for the Sun Devils in this first half. That's a 96-yard touchdown drive. All that good play, and the Cowboys have put 2 touchdowns on the board here in the second quarter, and they lead 14-3.
Yeah, took advantage of that penalty, roughing the passer, unnecessary, which really gave Oklahoma State a short field. There it is right there, unnecessary. That gave more life to the Cowboys, and they took advantage of it. And when your quarterback can do this, yeah, you're going to get points on the board.
And welcome back to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Sonos. Cowboys have taken control of this game. 14-3 is the score. Oklahoma State with a lead. 2:45 to go until halftime in Stillwater. A lot of football still to be played. Arizona State got off to a great start in this game. Now we'll see if they can come up with a 2-minute drill style drive.
They need one.
They do.
They've lost control of this game.
They'll start at the 25 after the touchback. Coming up on the DirecTV halftime report. Rod and I have already talked about some of the big stories around college football. Alabama surviving against Texas in Austin. Huge. I mean, upset doesn't even begin to describe. A&M and Notre Dame going down in shocking fashion. And Ohio State and Georgia had a little easier time. They cruised to victories. All that and more on our DirecTV halftime report.
It's going to be a rough week at Texas A&M and Notre Dame.
Man. I mean, Texas A&M, they got their offense did nothing today against a team that gave up 60+ last week to North Carolina. Handoff straight ahead. I mean, you got plenty of time. You got one timeout left, ASU does, but they're going backwards on first down. Since the first drive, the Arizona State offense has not been as successful.
Yeah, the rushing attack has stalled, and they haven't had a breakout receiver yet today. They haven't been able to shake anybody loose. This secondary for Oklahoma State has played way better than they played last week.
2nd and 10. And Valladay will get the ball again. Oklahoma State saw that coming.
Yeah, too quick. They're too quick up front right now. Tyler Lacey, 285 pounds, but he's got great quickness, and that's a problem for this offensive line.
Yeah, that guy, he can play, man. He is I think he's one of the best defensive linemen in the country.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Oklahoma State calls a timeout, by the way. You can finish your point, but they want to save time. Go ahead.
Yeah, as they should, because the third down and 16 here, they got a chance to get the ball back and to put some more points on the board. Listen, they've got the momentum, they've got the pace of the game on their side right now, and they'd like to continue that before halftime. 2 minutes, it's a lot of time.
They don't need 2 minutes, and Herm Edwards knows now it's 3rd and 16. His offense is not really equipped in the downfield passing game to handle 3rd and 16 from deep in your own territory.
Yeah, this would be a challenging throw right here.
It's interesting, isn't it, that Emory Jones' run game just hasn't really been there?
I'm surprised they haven't run him more in this ball game. I got to believe that that's going to be one of the halftime adjustments, is to get him going with his legs more.
So 3rd and 16. Jones will run it here. That was a design play, but on 3rd and long, Oklahoma State wasn't going to let that get anywhere close to a first down. We get the microphone on now. There is penalty flag in there.
Is it just me, or has that wind really picked up?
Up here it sure has. Might be some weather moving into Stillwater. Kind of feels like it.
Well, if you're Oklahoma State, that wind is still at your back.
Blindside block, offense number 12. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is 4th down.
All right, so they declined the blindside block. Point of emphasis this year. We've seen it called more frequently in the first couple weeks, but it is 4th down. The temperature's also dropped here. Conyers got called for the penalty.
Second charge timeout, Oklahoma State, 30
Here
seconds.
you see the hit, and as you pointed out, it's a player safety room, blindside blocks.
Game
Trying
clock
to get
operator,
those
please put 1 minute
out of the game.
57 seconds on the game clock. 1:57. Oklahoma State has 1 timeout remaining.
Well, this is going to put huge pressure on the ASU defense, because Cowboys have moved down the field quickly last couple times they've had it.
And you're kicking into the wind.
A wind that, as you said, has picked up, temperature dropping. And that punt was a borderline shank. It was a shank.
Yeah, the wind had to have something to do with that.
Wow. Things have gone sideways and worse for ASU. That's a 25-yard punt.
And given how fast this offense operates, not a problem with the 1:51 left.
Well, you got Big 12 now on ESPN Plus. Next Saturday, West Virginia's in action, so is Iowa State. K-State, great performance for the Wildcats today against Tulane. That's an interesting game, and these 11th ranked Cowboys may be moving up in the rankings. We'll host Arkansas Pine Bluff. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com/12 now. All that next week. Now from the 40 of ASU, Sanders throws quickly, and the pass is dropped. Second drop in this first half. I think both of them from Braden Johnson.
Yeah, they have not gotten the kind of play outside that they need. Braden Johnson is fifth-year guy. You expect him to be one of the key receivers. They are waiting for somebody to take charge of that receiving group.
You can't be the next Des Bryant or Justin Blackmon or whoever. Take your pick of all the stars they've had there if you're dropping the ball. 2nd and 10, and a short gain on the ground. You saw the quick scoring ability. We know that of Oklahoma State. But now they face a 3rd and 9 right away.
Yeah, 4-down territory, though.
And Dominic Richardson had been so good, kind of limping off the field. The true freshman, really talented Ollie Gordon comes on.
Yeah, this would seem like Spencer Sanders' time with the ball in his hands. Quarterback run.
Pressure comes up the middle. Sanders over the top, deep ball, and penalty flag thrown. There was contact, and Arizona State's going to commit another just critical penalty.
Defense number 7, 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So Marcus Davis, who started his football career in the Big 12 at Baylor.
Yeah, the ball is in the air. You got to get your hands off the receiver. He doesn't want him to go by him. There's a grab, grabs the waist. No question about it. That's a hold.
Sanders, he was calling for it. So now inside the 30, first down, a minute plus here in the first half.
Yep, clock not an issue.
2 enormous penalties in the last few minutes. What a broken tackle by the true freshman Ollie Gordon from Fort Worth, Texas. Maybe the most highly regarded of all the incoming freshmen, the last Oklahoma State recruiting class.
Yeah, Lott made a good play, knifing through. First time we've seen good movement from the Arizona State defensive line in a couple of series. A little winded. You see the guys with the hands on the hips.
Gordon still in the backfield. Sanders will give it to him again. Left side run. Just nowhere to go. Lean forward for a couple of yards. Clock moving.
Plenty of time. They've got timeout.
Now that's no good. Ro Torrance, he made some really nice plays. The defensive back, he's going to the locker room early. On 3rd down, Sanders in the pocket, throws middle, incomplete into traffic. That was a dangerous throw.
Yeah. A lot of white shirts in the middle of the field there. Lucky to get away with that one.
Davis, who committed the holding penalty, had better coverage there. And now the field goal team's coming out.
Wind at your back.
Tanner Brown, who's good kicker.
Probably about a 42, 43 yarder. He'll get a boost from the wind.
Now Herm Edwards is going to call
Third and
timeout.
final timeout, Arizona State.
43-yard field goal try
seconds.
coming up.
You surprised how conservative it seemed that Oklahoma State was on that series?
I am a little surprised. I mean, I think they were very confident the way their ground game was working that they could get chunks of yardage on the ground. But yeah, it turned into maybe a little too conservative.
Yeah, I think they wanted to burn some clock too. But that sort of backfired. They didn't get what they wanted out of the running game. I thought they might have thrown it a little bit more and given Spencer Sanders a chance to be on the edge with the football.
After that penalty and the ball moved deeper into Arizona State territory, 2 straight run plays before that incompletion on 3rd down.
Mike Gundy, 18 years here at Oklahoma State. He spent all but 5 years of his adult life at this place.
Yeah, and he loves it here. He's a perfect fit for this program. He's done a great job over the years. He's one of the best coaches in college football, period. 43-yard field goal try. I think Arizona State jumped off sides. The kick is up and good. So they may decline the penalty. It just sort of boggles the mind. Herm Edwards, I could see him.
Offside defense in the neutral zone at the snap. Number 3, that penalty is declined. Field goal is good.
So in the neutral zone, that they declined the penalty. Tanner Brown booted it through. The field goal's good. Tanner said, yeah, I want that kick. 17-3 Cowboys.
Well, you don't want to take points off the board. Decline the penalty.
Well, it wouldn't have been a first down. You consider it if it's a first down, but it would not have been a first down. So the good field goal, keep that on the board. .26 seconds to go. Mike Gundy's got to be very pleased with the way his offense kicked it into gear as the half went on. The first 5 drives, no points. Last 3 times they've had the ball, 2 touchdowns and field goal.
Well, they started finding something in the rushing attack with Dominic Richardson stepping up. We talked about it at the beginning of the game. They needed somebody to run the ball other than Spencer Sanders to take some pressure off him. They found that midway through the second quarter, and that really kind of jump-started the offense.
Taylor slips. So he goes down at the 10, and that cinches it. I'm sure Arizona State's just going to snap the ball and take a knee. Well, Sun Devils have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, they've got to find a way to start getting the ball down the field. They haven't thrown it very well and haven't thrown it often. And as we talked about earlier, if there's a weakness to the Oklahoma State defense, it's in the secondary, where they are young, inexperienced. They struggled last week, and they really haven't been tested that much tonight.
Arizona State, they're going to need to throw the ball much better in the second half if they're going to have a chance to come from behind. So Emory Jones takes the knee. Both teams will go to the locker room. Sun Devils got off to a terrific start. Not much went right for Herm Edwards' team after those early minutes here in Stillwater. So it's halftime. Cowboys up 17-3. DirecTV halftime report with Matt, Joey, and Jesse coming up after this break. Welcome back to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Sonos. As we get ready to start the second half from Stillwater. Cowboys slow start, number 11 ranked team in college football, but they turned it on as the first half went on. And Mike Gundy's team has a 17-3 lead. Dave Fleming, Rod Gilmore, Tiffany Blackman back with you here as we get ready to start the second half. Oklahoma State, you said it early, maybe a little too reliant on the pass game. They needed a ground game to complement their spread attack through the air, and they found it.
Yeah, they did, and they really needed it. And it was the one thing that was missing. And when they got Dominic Richardson going, the offense started to hit on all cylinders. They found the rushing attack inside, and then it made it easier for Spencer Sanders. I mean, so much more when you can get your running back inside. Last week, it was all about Spencer Sanders throwing it and running it. Tonight, midway through the second quarter, Richardson got in the act, opened up the offense. That made it easier for Spencer Sanders to run and to throw, and now they seem to have it all going in their direction.
Sanders dynamic in the open field with the complement of Richardson. The way he ran, it was pretty good 1-2 combo on the ground. You see the stats from the first half. The total yardage now well in favor of the Cowboys. About 0 for 7 on third down for Arizona State.
Yeah, and they've got to find a way to get their passing attack going. 88 yards passing. They haven't had enough Emory Jones, so they really need to get more of Emory Jones in the second half.
While we have a moment, let's go down to the sideline. Tiffany Blackman.
Hey guys, you were right about Oklahoma State running that football. That's where things changed for them in that first half. And when I spoke with Coach Mike Gundy, he said they started running better, they started blocking better, the things that they weren't doing early on. He also noted that Arizona State started to play back on them, and when they do that, they got to run. Guys.
All right, thanks, Tiffany. So we'll see both teams if they can make a few adjustments as we start the second half. The game's still not, I mean, Arizona State still very much has a chance in this game. They get the ball first to start the second half. They'll begin at the 25-yard line. We also have some weather that is moving closer and closer to Stillwater. Whether that turns into just rain or this time of year, late summer, early fall, you could get some lightning. That could be an issue. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, Arizona State needs to figure out as soon as possible how to get their offense on track. And the passing attack is the big issue. They haven't been able to challenge what has been the weakness so far this season, anyway, of the Oklahoma State defense, and that is an inexperienced secondary. How about some bunch formations, stack them, try to create some confusion on the back end.
So the first play of the third quarter, play action. Jones will get away from the rush, and Jones spun around, got back to the line of scrimmage, maybe got a yard. His ground game just hasn't been there either.
Yeah, this is a very active and quick defense. Talk about their defensive line. We've hardly talked about Xavier Benson and Mason Cobb, the two inside linebackers who are very quick and active, and they're reacting to Emory Jones quickly and making tackles before he can get upfield.
I thought it's pretty interesting how we mentioned Derek Mason's name a few times during the game, the new first-year defensive coordinator. A lot of experience in college football and a former head coach. Second down, Jones across the middle, wide open, and he hits his receiver. Then the missed tackle inside the 30. That's Gio Sanders to the 15, to the 10, inside the 5. Sun Devils with their biggest play of the game through the air by far. Sanders just short of the goal line. It'll be 1st and goal.
Flynn, we talked about this secondary and miscommunication. There's a blown assignment here. You've got the inside receiver, the third receiver in, completely uncovered and running straight up the hash mark. It's a blown assignment, a miscommunication, because you should never, ever, ever have that third inside receiver running completely free up the field.
That was 73 yards through the air, and just like that, Arizona State's got a chance to get back in this game. 1st and goal, Sun Devils. Jones is going to keep it. Emory Jones fighting, and he can't get there. A big, tough defensive front for the Cowboys. That was number 1. Xavier Benson, who led the way. 2nd and goal.
Yeah, this front is active, quick. They don't just stand still and wait for the offensive line. They slant to the left or to the right. They're really trying to penetrate into the backfield. Expect to see Arizona State try to get to the edge, try to get to the wide field.
I would think for the Sun Devils, the idea of kicking a field goal here would go out the window.
Yep, can't have it.
Valladay in the backfield, I formation. Case Hatch, the fullback. They give it to Valladay. Cuts ahead. Penalty flag thrown. He got to the goal line. I thought he got in. There was no signal of touchdown or not. So I guess he did not get in.
That flag is in the area.
Holding. Defense number 91. Half the distance to the goal. By rule. Automatic first down.
Wow. So defensive holding.
Big.
Huge. I thought that was going to be another backbreaker on the Sun Devils.
Should be heavy formation. Couple tight ends for Arizona State. Expect to see Hatch in there, 44. Swinson, 80. Yep. Couple tight ends.
And of course, that penalty, as announced by our referee, means 1st and goal, basically from the goal line. Touchdown. Oh, what a great start to the second half for the Sun Devils.
What a crunching block by 44 Hatch. Just get behind him and let him take you into the end zone.
Well, if ASU needed a boost, and they really did, they just got it.
Yeah. The big play, again, was attacking this inexperienced secondary that has had some miscommunications, last week and this week, and a blown assignment left the receiver completely wide open.
They were so good there last year. They lost so much talent from that outstanding defensive team. Extra point up and good. So it's a touchdown lead for Oklahoma State, 17-10.
Talk about physicality. Watch Hatch, 44, lead blocker. This is old school football. Get your fullback in there right behind him. Let him lead you into the end zone. This Hatch is going to have a crunching block here. Just get him behind him. Look at that. Lowers his shoulder, lowers the boom. And all of a sudden you have a touchdown to start the 3rd quarter. A little momentum for the Sun Devils.
Case Hatch and the ASU offense punching it in after Gio Sanders and Emory Jones combined for the big play to get Arizona State all the way down the field. Great start. Didn't take long. Well, the opening drives haven't been an issue for this team. Started the game. First time they had the ball in the 1st quarter, and this second half opening drive. Nixon back near the goal line, and that is returnable into the wind. So Jaden Nixon But a big return early. Now a penalty flag thrown behind the play. So we'll see. Not great field position even as it stands. Could get even worse.
Pretty long conference down there.
During the return, holding. Receivers number 4. Half the distance from the end of the run. First down.
Well, now Oklahoma State did have a 96-yard touchdown drive in the first half. But they're going to need something close to that. They're going to start inside their own 10.
Yeah. Yeah, not the way they wanted to start the second half, giving up a big pass and a touchdown, and now you get a penalty and you're inside your own 10-yard line. Well, let's see if Oklahoma State can continue with the rushing attack that they had in the first half.
One issue, Dominic Richardson is not on the field. We saw him limp off at the end of the first half. And it's Jaden Nixon, who's talented. I mean, it's not like Jaden Nixon can't do the job, but Richardson really had a great first half. Play fake. Sanders throws, and the pass is caught right near the first down mark and then turned upfield. Bryson Green. That will be a Cowboys first down.
Let's see if the tempo works for Oklahoma State here.
ASU was not even really lined up when they snapped the ball, but they got lined up after the snap and stopped Jaden Nixon for no gain. Nesta Jade Silvera back in the game. He, remember, limped off in the first half, so that's good news for the Sun Devils. Now Sanders keeps it. Sanders trying to bounce it outside. Spencer Sanders gets forward for a gain of maybe 4, but it'll be third down.
He takes a lot of hits.
He does.
A lot of hits. And that's one of the reasons why they needed to find some help in the rushing attack to reduce the number of hits he gets in a game, because if he were to get injured, that'd be it for the Oklahoma State offense this season.
3rd and 6. Big play for the ASU defense here. Chance to get off the field. Sanders throws right over the top, and it will be incomplete. Now there was some contact, but no penalty flag thrown. It's 4th down.
Yeah, contact came early. And again, you know, as we talk to these officials, they keep reminding us contact will happen. You're looking for one person getting a real advantage over the other. No such there, just a stumble. It's a good no call.
It was. Marcus Davis had the coverage. Now a low line drive style punt. Fielded back around the 25. A little stutter step move. I think that's Cam Johnson, not DJ Taylor. So Cam Johnson gives Arizona State some pretty good field position. What a start to the second half for the Sun Devils. And they have the ball when we come back to Stillwater. You're watching the Big 12 on ESPN from a blustery Stillwater, Oklahoma. The wind down on the field, I don't think it's quite as much of a factor, although it's windy down there. We're on the roof, and we're about to be blown back to Oklahoma City.
Yeah. House and all.
And the temperature has definitely dropped. Arizona State. Excellent start to the second half. They went down the field, got a touchdown, got a stop. Now they get the ball back, trailing by a touchdown. Handoff and Ngata straight ahead, and a nice burst from Daniel Ngata. Valaday's going to get most of the carries, I think, this year, Rod, but Ngata's a talented back in his own right.
Yeah, we've seen him the last couple of years. He's a guy who was highly decorated coming out of high school and has made it through a couple of injuries, and he's a good receiver out of the backfield.
There's an Oklahoma State injury on the field after that first down run of 6 yards. That's Brendan Evers. He's played just so many games, so many snaps for this Cowboys defense over the last many years.
You know, of all the things that are impressive about Emory Jones, to me the most impressive was that he arrived at Arizona State after spring practice, late May, and in a matter of weeks earned the respect of his teammates and was elected captain. That's amazing.
2nd and 4, and Ngata will get the carry again, trying to bounce it outside. He did. You saw some of that power speed combo there. He gets the first down out to midfield and just across midfield.
Yeah, great burst. He was the number 7 ranked running back when he came out of high school.
He's from Folsom. That's a proud high school program outside of Sacramento. A lot of good players from that area have come to Tempe to play for ASU. So 1st and 10 Sun Devils. Jones under center. Handoff this time left side running Ngata. This time nowhere to go. So he's stopped for no gain, and we'll check in studio with Matt.
All right, guys, get your Capital One rewarding performance. Holy Cross in Buffalo. Final play of the game. Matthew Sluka is going to chuck it to Jalen Coker. Look how many Buffalo defenders are around him, and look what Coker does. Comes up with it for the win. Holy Cross at the buzzer over Buffalo.
Don't you love college football?
Holy Cross. that was pretty incredible. What a day in this sport. Jones throws, and that one is incomplete, and here comes a penalty flag. Intended for Elijah Badger, another Sacramento kid.
Number 13, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Yeah, the matchup is not the one you want if you're Oklahoma State. That's a safety, Harper, against a wide receiver in Badger, and because he's in the slot, he's got to cover him, and that's the matchup that Emory Jones recognized right off the bat.
Harper didn't like it, but I thought that was the right call.
Yeah, again, you're looking for advantage. Now, if he got his head around, that might have helped him, but he had his hands on him and didn't try to find the ball.
So another player down on the turf. Big penalty against Thomas Harper, and Arizona State on the move, trying to tie this game in the third quarter.
Timeout on the field.
So we have a timeout on the field. I think that was Jabbar Muhammad, the defensive back, who was down. We'll check on him while we step away. 9:06 to go, third quarter at Oklahoma State. All right, let's take a look at the Taco Bell Live Moss student section. That young man's living Moss. Student sections across the country competing to be the Live Moss student section of the year all season long. And these students, they give their team a great home field advantage.
Yeah, and they've got even, paddles, paddle people banging against the wall. They make some noise.
And the Oklahoma State defense could use a little help right now. ASU's on the move for a second straight drive. Handoff Valladay. There's an excellent play, knifing into the backfield. Mason Cobb with the tackle.
Yeah, folks were concerned about replacing 2 great former linebackers who are now in the NFL, and Mason Cobb shows you that he's up to the task. There he is. Watch him diagnose this quickly and knife right through. He reads it, cuts right in. That's really good football. I would expect to see Arizona State go back to that trips formation, 3 receivers to one side, and see if Oklahoma State adjusts to it okay. They messed it up last time.
Well, they sent Valladay out to the far left. They want Valladay, though, next to Jones, and I think they burned a timeout.
First charge timeout, Arizona State.
Well, those hurt in the second half when you're down, especially.
And you need them in the fourth quarter.
Just because you weren't organized coming to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and what I don't get, though, is that go back to what has worked. Oklahoma State secondary has shown you tonight that they're having trouble adjusting to different formations. When you give them trips formation or 2-by-2, they have to communicate it, and you've gotten a big play because they couldn't communicate correctly. So Arizona State should come back to these formations, whether it's 3 receivers to one side, whether it's stacking a formation or a bunch, and seeing if that secondary can communicate and pick up guys.
Also, you can tell from those shots, it is starting to rain now. We knew it was coming. We'll see how bad it gets. This part of the world, things can change fast, and some fans, a good number of them, are heading for cover.
Yeah, because a lot of them ended up wearing summer gear out here tonight.
And I hope Tiffany brought her rain gear, because she's about to get wet. 2nd and 12. Jones, much different formation. Valladay spinning through the line of scrimmage, and he got down to the 30. That was a gain of close to 7 on the ground.
That's all Valladay. He got hit at the line of scrimmage, and he picked up another 5 yards on his own.
Helmet came off. I practiced that line last week a lot.
Yeah, you did.
Never seen a game.
That was what, like Cincinnati without a dozen of them or so?
Oh, Lord. I hope somebody went back and counted. 3rd and 6. Jones, just a 3-man rush, and it got there anyway. The hit on the quarterback forced the incompletion.
That should never happen. What a tremendous effort by Colin Oliver and company. A little help by Trace Ford also. You got 3 being blocked by 5. This should be easy enough to pick up. Now watch on the bottom of your screen. Look at Trace Ford. He just drives his man right back into Emory Jones. What an effort.
The left tackle, Isaiah Glass, is the guy who put the hit on the quarterback. He got shoved into him. Now this is a 48-yard field goal with the rain falling and the wind swirling. A low line drive kick, and it's no good. I don't think the percentages were real good on that one.
I know. Especially into that wind, which kind of kicked up there.
Yeah, I hard to put a number on it, but I don't know if their chances weren't better to get 6 yards than to make this field goal.
I think we were both sort of thinking at 3rd down. They had 2 downs to get it, but I think they got spooked by that pass rush.
So the field goal no good. Cowboys get the ball back, still leading by 7. Spencer Sanders throws, and he hits his man for a 1st down. The slant to Green across the 40. Dominic Richardson is back in the game. That's very good news for the Cowboys. He gets the ball here and tries to push his way out close to the 45.
And wrapped up by Soley. Soley's a steady inside linebacker. I think he has, what, 2 picks already this season?
He does. Plays alongside his brother Connor, who also plays linebacker for ASU. The deep ball, and it's complete. Cutting it into the middle of the field. Johnson inside the 15 and close to the 10. Braden Johnson.
Started with protection and then recognition by Sanders, and they will hurry up. Give him tempo now.
43 yards. Sanders keeps it. Sanders goes into a slide to avoid the hit, and here comes a flag, and that one I don't know about.
I don't know about that either. That is not a good call.
What are you supposed to do?
Not a good call. And it's not as if he tried to spear him. He didn't lead with his helmet or anything.
Yeah, that
Personal foul and necessary roughness, late hit against the sliding ball carrier. Defense, half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Man, I really do not like that call.
Yeah, this is not a good call. And he didn't even hit him. He just hugged him.
That's
a very weak call.
Yeah, it might not have mattered. It was Oklahoma State doesn't get a whole lot of extra yardage from that, but now it's 1st and goal from inside the 5. Richardson stacked up at the 4, maybe got a little closer than that.
And I'd go back to Richardson from Oklahoma State. I'm not that crazy about them running Sanders down here in these tight spaces where he's going to get hit by linebackers.
Sanders takes a snap looking for the end zone, and it's tipped, knocked away, incomplete. So now we set up a 3rd and goal. Pesafea got a hand up there.
How does Arizona State play it defensively? They play zone down here and try to take up some of the space? Or do they bring pressure?
The rain continues to fall. ASU, they did not get their players off the field. They stopped play.
Illegal substitution on the defense. half the distance to the goal, third down.
Still third down. It'll still be 3rd and goal.
Yeah, Arizona State tried to run on 3 players, and then they had to get them off the field. They weren't going to make it, and they got snapped. The ball got snapped. You see 3 of them, 4 of them trying to get off the field.
Now Oklahoma State will change personnel, and that means ASU has the opportunity to do the same.
They bring a fresh defensive line in.
Arizona State still is confused as to who's supposed to be out there. Herm's got the rain gear on, and they still can't get lined up. Man.
The ball had not been put in play.
So Oklahoma State wanted to snap it.
Yeah, I think he was trying to make sure that Arizona State had a chance to substitute because Oklahoma State began the substitution pattern.
Third and goal. Sanders under center. ASU almost jumped, and now a flag thrown. A couple indeed.
Everybody's pointing. That's what you do, right?
They just point at the other guy.
How do you settle that argument?
Ball start. Offense number 68. The defense was never in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
So if you stayed behind the neutral zone, then you can't be called for jumping off sides. That hurts. That's a big penalty against Oklahoma State.
Let's see if Arizona State plays zone down here now and keeps their eyes on Sanders.
From the shotgun, third and goal. Sanders pressured, throws middle, and it's tipped away, incomplete.
Yeah. Right defensive call. They played zone so that they could keep their eyes on Sanders in case he took off, and they covered all the underneath zones so that there was not any place for him to go with the football. You see the guy's just standing in the end zone reading his eyes.
Ro Florence ended up getting a hand on that ball. It's good news for ASU that he's come back in. I've been impressed with him. He's played a good game.
Yeah, he's a good player.
But now a field goal from just 24 yards out. Should be no problem for Tanner Brown. No problem for Tanner Brown. Right through. So back to a 10-point lead for the Cowboys, 20-10 with 5:48 to go in the third quarter. The rain's starting to fall. The wind has picked up a little bit. Conditions deteriorating. Cowboys kick the field goal anyway. They're up 10. Well, we got some fans who came prepared with the rain gear. The rain has really started to fall. Oklahoma State kicks a field goal. 20-10 is the Cowboys lead, the number 11 ranked team in the country. 5:48 to go, third quarter. Big 12 Pac-12 matchup here in Stillwater. Kickoff fairly short. DJ Taylor takes this one and gets it back close to the 25-yard line. Next week, SEC on ESPN all over the place. Number 2 Georgia going to South Carolina. It's an improved South Carolina team, although they got pounded by Arkansas today. They hung in there but gave up a lot on the ground. That's at noon Eastern. Then at 6 LSU, who bouncing back tonight. That'll be a much different challenge. 6 Eastern at home against Mississippi State. And then number 15 Miami at soon to not be number 6 Texas A&M at 9 Eastern Saturday on ESPN.
That's going to be a rough week at Texas A&M. They need that win over Miami now desperately after losing today.
ASU fans are like, what's this falling out of the sky? What do you call this? Emory Jones, the Sun Devils quarterback, gives the ball to Valladay. Valladay trying to get to that outside corner. He's got close to the 30-yard line, so a gain of about 5 on first down.
Now, as long as you keep the ball dry, the rain shouldn't bother your offense. You should be able to throw it effectively, and you should have an advantage over the defense because you know where you're going. And if the field gets really wet, that should hurt the pass rush, not the receivers and not the quarterback.
And I mean, we don't know exactly what it's like down on the field. but I think the rain has actually calmed the wind down just a little bit. 2nd and 5, another handoff across the 30 and short, not by much.
Be surprised we haven't seen Emory Jones running a little bit more.
Very surprised.
Yeah, I thought we'd see a little bit more of that. He's only carried it 5 times, and those really weren't design runs. Just a couple were design runs.
ASU needs to convert a 3rd down. They're 0 for 8.
Hard to win when you can't convert 3rd down. Under center.
And off right side, and just no room at all. They lost yardage on that one.
That is all about Tyler Lacey. Now, we talked about him being the best of the defensive linemen here, one of the best in the country. He just destroyed that play. He owned his lineman. Watch him left side, pushes his guy back, takes on the fullback, and makes the tackle. You cannot do it any better than that. That is just huge.
He is one of the better defensive linemen in the country. And ASU is going to punt the ball back. That's very disappointing for the Sun Devils. Punt inside the 20 and handled cleanly even in the rain. Then the turn upfield and a nice return outside the 30. Close to the 35-yard line. 50-yard punt. But a return of maybe 13 yards. Well, we're upstairs. Tiffany's actually in the weather. Maybe we should ask her. Tiffany?
Yeah, guys, I basically picked out the worst poncho in the history of ponchos, but I brought my hat, so I'm excited about that. It looks like the rain, it was picking up for a little bit, and it looks like it's actually starting to slow down just a tad. But like you mentioned, Dave, the good news is the wind has pretty much stopped.
Keep us posted, and the poncho looks like it's working. Good.
I like the hat. Nice hat.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, we're fine up here, though. Thanks for asking. Straight ahead run for a gain of 3 from Richardson on 1st down. The only problem for us here is
can't see.
We've had to sort of close the windows because the rain was blowing on all the equipment. And we figure that's not a great thing. We got all these things plugged in. Probably shouldn't get those wet. And now the rain is covering the windows, and it's hard to see the game. Other than that, we're fine. This is a tough job, Rod.
And everybody at home said, that's your problem, not mine.
3rd and 2 here for Oklahoma State. Sanders kept it and then kind of ran into his own man, pushed him backwards. ASU will shove him out of bounds. He lost a yard, maybe 2.
Yeah, you know, and listen, he's a tremendous athlete, but 3rd and 2, you got to have a running back. Or you got to have a pass attack to pick it up. Relying on your quarterback to get you every 3rd and short is a good way to get him beat up and a good way to have a tough season.
So the Cowboys go 3 and out. End over end punt. Fair catch signal. Right around the 15-yard line. Arizona State's offense will come back on the field. Well, tomorrow we got Sunday Night Baseball for you on ESPN. The Giants and the Cubs from the friendly confines of Wrigley Field. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern on ESPN with baseball tonight. Sunday night countdown.
You know who's pitching tomorrow night for the Giants?
Let me do my. I should know, shouldn't I? Logan Webb went today. Our Giants got a big win over the Cubs today.
Okay.
Giants have a bullpen game tomorrow. That's why I didn't know.
Any arm that's available.
So you're going to see a lot of pitchers tomorrow from Wrigley. Good news for those of us who are on the Giants side of things is you come to Stillwater, the orange and black works great. You're a friend of the program forever. Right through the hands of the intended target on 1st down. That was the tight end Conyers.
You know, we haven't seen Messiah Swinson targeted since early in the 1st quarter. Big target.
That seems like a mistake.
Well, it just doesn't seem like the confidence is there in the intermediate passing game yet for Arizona State.
Maybe part of that is new system. Glenn Thomas, first-year offensive coordinator, new quarterback, so much new personnel all over the place. Straight ahead run on 2nd down. Close to the 20, stopped a little short of the 20. It'll be another 3rd down, another opportunity. I'm trying to put a positive spin on things. Another chance for the Sun Devils to convert a 3rd down.
Yeah, and it starts with protection. How do you protect your quarterback?
Oklahoma State. Is that Tyler Lacey? They don't want to lose him.
No, I think that's Sione Asi.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Sione Asi.
6'1", 310 pounds. He's one of the super seniors, guy who got an extra year because of COVID 2020. He's in the middle of your screen right there. Hard to tell what happened to him. Maybe he got rolled up on there at the end.
So he comes out of the game. From Reno. The biggest little city in the world.
You know, you mentioned the offense and passing attack and trying to coordinate all these new folks.
Yeah.
51 new players. I mean, that's an awful lot. Herm Edwards told us, he said, look, you know, I'm trying to make sure that the chemistry is right, that it all works, and you don't really know until you get the bright lights on guys.
Herm was yelling at his players to get out on the field. The play clock was winding down. Arizona State, play clock under 2. And they do get the ball snapped on 3rd down. The throw and a perfect pass from Emory Jones to Gio Sanders for the first 3rd down conversion of the night.
Did he thread the needle on that one? Oklahoma State dropped into a zone. They had 3 players around there, and Emory Jones made a perfect throw. Watch this from this angle. Watch how he squeezes this ball in. Wow.
That was good coverage.
Yeah.
So 1st and 10, Sun Devils down by 10 nearing the end of the 3rd quarter. Jones play fake, and now he goes down. The sack. And Tyler Lacey has been everywhere tonight. I think he's been the best player on the field.
Without a doubt. There's that man. And you can't block him one-on-one. You have to make sure you got some help. And without help, it's a problem. Left side, watch him come on a little twist, wide open. Runs right by the tackle on that side, or the guard, rather, Chris Martinez. Man, got to help him out. Put another guy over to help him out a little bit.
All those SEC defensive linemen that Emory Jones went up against last year, there weren't many who were bigger, stronger, more physical than that guy. Now, a little swing pass swatted down, incomplete. Trace Ford got in there and knocked it down. It'll be 3rd and long.
Think about what Tyler Lacey does, the impact. He makes a play like that. It changes the entire series. Now you call something just to try to get out of the way of it, and you get nothing. Now you got a 3rd and 18 because he made that sack a couple plays ago.
Just a few seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. Could be the final play of the quarter. Tyler Lacey looking to wreak more havoc. Jones throws. He's got his receiver open. Badger spins, and Badger stayed on his feet and got the 1st down. What an effort by Elijah Badger.
You're not kidding. He carried a couple guys to pick up that 1st down.
Man, that's a big play to end the quarter.
Well, and we've seen 2 throws now by Emory Jones, the intermediate throws that were perfect. And then Badger fighting to get this 1st down. There's a little life now for Arizona State.
Well, what do you do when you're at a college football game in the pouring rain, the driving wind? You have a Garth Brooks sing-along. Why not?
Yeah, they're enjoying it.
They turn the music off. They just keep going. Why wouldn't you? Valladay, while they sing, sprints down the sideline, and a big gain on the ground for ASU. The first play of the fourth quarter. It's only a 10-point game. That stopped the singing real quick.
Yeah,
that's 38 yards from Valladay.
Yeah, good block on the edge. No containment by Oklahoma State. And then the burst. He's a heck of a running back. We watch the outside. A good block again. Number 80, Messiah Swinson, the tight end, transfer from Missouri.
Badger had a good block downfield after Elijah Badger had the great catch and push to convert the 3rd and long. Now Jones hits Badger. Touchdown.
The poise of Emory Jones comes shining through there. He never panicked. Took a nice drop. Under center, learning that NFL style quarterback to be under center and take your drop, and stepped up and waited patiently for Badger to come across the formation with a crossing route. Good protection.
The rain suits the team from the desert. Things have turned around for ASU since the rain started to fall. The extra point is up and good. And the Sun Devils are down just 3.
And it's been the passing attack. It was the thing we talked about they needed to change at halftime. More Emory Jones. Now watch this perfect drop from quarterback. NFL style. Good protection up front. And he waits for the crossing route to clear. Perfectly done. We saw 3 tremendous intermediate throws by Emory Jones on that drive.
And I tell you what, ASU's got a couple skill players. Valladay, who's had a terrific game as the primary running back.
Yep.
And Elijah Badger, who also was a very talented high school player. Hasn't had a chance to do a whole lot yet. And Elijah Badger's having a big game. He's got over 90 yards and now has a touchdown. And you're right, Emory Jones has picked it up big time.
Look, one of the knocks on him was that, great talent, great arm, can throw the deep ball, but what about the intermediate throws? Well, he's showing you that he can do that. He wanted to come to Arizona State and learn NFL-style quarterback play. Brian Billick, former head coach in the NFL, is one of the consultants.
Free kick out of bounds. Ball be placed at the 35-yard line.
Well, that's a bad mistake. Kick goes out of bounds. Let's go down to Tiffany.
Well, the patience of Jones that you were just talking about, Rod, it kind of is very similar to his approach to coming in to being the starting quarterback at Arizona State. He told me when he got here, he was excited to be named captain, but that he actually didn't come in and start chatting up guys right away. He approached it very slowly. He said he wanted the guys to see how he worked and how consistent he worked, and they took notice. And now that he's been settled in, well, the guy said he's become like the welcome committee. He's been such a leader on this team and bringing everybody together.
I just never heard of a guy becoming a captain after showing up that late to a squad.
Sanders on first down, setting up a screen play, and it works with the hurdle out into the open field to midfield and still going. That's Richardson, who's had the big game in the backfield for the Cowboys. So the penalty on the kickoff, and now the long play on the screen, 21 yards inside ASU territory.
I think they found the running back they've been looking for.
I do too. He's been awesome tonight. They give it to him left side running, and not nearly as much room there. Kyle Soley made the tackle.
Let's go back to that last play. Watch, just a little screen pass here. Gets set up nicely with the lineman out in front. Whoops, you need me to hurdle somebody? But look at the lineman down the field blocking for him.
Sanders throws, and a penalty flag thrown. The ball knocked away by Torrance, but a penalty.
I don't know. There've been an awful lot of pass interference calls the last first 2 weeks of the season.
Holding. Defense number 9. 10-yard penalty by rule. Automatic first down.
So this one was called as a hold.
Yeah. And to me, unless it's really impacting, the play, the catch, it can't be called. I mean, like I said, I talk to officials every week, and they tell me, look, it's a contact sport. We know there's going to be some mutual combat, and unless someone is getting an advantage, we're not throwing a flag. I didn't see any real advantage on that one.
They're going to pitch it back to Sanders, who's going to throw to a wide open receiver. Touchdown, Cowboys. Bryson Green was all alone.
That is one of those plays you set up all week for the perfect situation to make sure you run. Now, Green fakes like he's blocking inside and then just sprints across the field. Lulled everyone to sleep. Perfectly executed.
What a
Pretty
call.
good acting job.
Great call, great execution. It took 3 plays for the Cowboys to answer the touchdown for ASU. And the extra point is up and good. Now, you're right. You work on that. You wait for the perfect time. I think Mike Gundy believes that was the perfect time.
Yep, a little trickeration. Toss the ball around. Fake like you're going to block. Catch everybody asleep. And you execute it perfectly. Cowboys rolling right now.
Well, great answer for the Cowboys after ASU cut it to a 3-point game. Back to a 10-point lead for number 11 Oklahoma State, 27-17, 13-31. Still a long way to go. Fourth quarter here in wet Stillwater, Oklahoma. 3 plays, 65 yards. It took all of 54 seconds. And the trick play touchdown to Bryson Green. The Cowboys will kick it back to the Sun Devils here.
For trick plays to work, you've got to have great acting. Watch what happens on this play. Bottom of your screen, you're going to see one receiver act like he's going to block now. Watch what happens. He draws the attention of 3 defenders and runs them all off, while Green on the top comes underneath after faking a block. He's wide open because he faked like he was going to be blocking, but he had help with the clear out there. So everybody did their part. Everybody played their role. Trickeration worked perfectly.
They have a thriving theater department here at Oklahoma State. 1st and 10 Sun Devils from the 25. And we'll see. Okay, ASU's offense in the second half has looked a lot more lively. Jones under center. Back to pass on 1st down. Throws short, and he kind of threw it behind the tight end Swinson, incomplete.
I've been impressed with the way Emory Jones has handled this offense, the way he's thrown the ball in the second half. I think they should feel pretty confident that they can trust him throwing the ball. How does Oklahoma State respond defensively? Here's that trips formation where they've had some miscommunication and allowed a receiver to run free.
Second and 10. Pocket collapsing quickly down the middle, way too far, incomplete, trying to get it to Badger. It's 3rd down.
Can they protect Emory Jones on this 3rd down play? And if I'm Arizona State, I'm finding Tyler Lacey, 89, and I'm making sure that there's a second blocker to keep him off my quarterback.
Jones trying to use that towel to keep his hands dry. Tiffany told us the rain had sort of stopped, but it's definitely picked up again now. It's raining hard.
Yeah, and there's Tyler Lacey, #1 threat.
He's had a great game. Pressure comes. Jones throws incomplete, and then almost intercepted at the end of that play. Trying to find Charles Hall. It'll be 4th down.
And missed him high. And again, too much pressure, can't step up. You know, this defensive line has been as good as advertised. If it's not Lacey, it's Brock Martin.
That punt's going to go right over the head, bouncing and stopping, and no. It broke the plane of the goal line for a touchback. Wow, that was almost one of the great punts in history. Oh, so close.
Not quite there.
Officially 75 yards. Could have been a 74-yard net if it had just stopped.
Stop. Slow down. Slow down. Stop.
Wasn't going to do it.
Stop.
ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by Sonos. Experience game-changing sound made easy.
Well, coaches with the most wins at their current schools active in college football, some of the greats in the game, and fourth on that list, of course, is Mike Gundy looking for career win number 151. He got 150 week one last week, got a special game ball presentation in the locker room afterwards. I mean, he belongs in that conversation.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State gets the ball back. Sanders takes a monster hit and dumps it off for a completion and ends up getting the Cowboys 5, close to 6 yards. He hops up. He's all right.
He just takes a lot of pounding. A lot of pounding. Go back and last play again, gets rid of the ball, but another big hit.
2nd and 4. Richardson cut it to the middle. Dominic Richardson, first down. He's had a heck of a night.
He has brought a whole new angle to this offense. He's given them the balance they need with a guy who can run the ball, take the pressure off of Spencer Sanders, who can run it inside.
Quick tempo. Sanders keeps right side run, goes into a slide. And that will limit the gain to 3.5 yards.
And that's better than seeing him lower the shoulder and take on hits like he did earlier in the ball game.
Yeah, he's taken some big hits in this game. And I think the point you're trying to make is he's so important for their success this year. You want to use the running ability. It's a big part of why he's so good. Richardson over the right side, and the ball came out. The ball was out. I think Oklahoma State got it. That's a huge break for the Cowboys. I can't tell which offensive lineman fell on the ball. I think it was the center, Preston Wilson.
Yeah, ball gets poked out right there. So it was clearly a fumble, but you think you're right. Good effort, good recovery. I think that was Preston Wilson, as you mentioned.
So Wilson has the ball again to snap it on 3rd down. Pressure comes up the middle, and Sanders got rid of it. What a pass from Spencer Sanders. He found Richardson for an Oklahoma State first down.
What athleticism. I mean, he makes the jump throw, gets it over 2 would-be rushers. Look at that. Had the right play called, didn't take a hit.
He ended up about the 10-yard line by the time he finished backpedaling. That was incredible.
This team is ranked number 11. You think this is a top 10 team, Oklahoma State?
I don't know. I mean, it's so early. We've seen so much chaos in those rankings. I think, you know, we were talking earlier about USC. People were questioning, man, does USC after 1 week really deserve to be in the top 10? I think tonight they're probably answering that question, saying yes, they do.
Yeah, serious beatdown of Stanford.
Florida loses to Kentucky at home. Now a broken tackle. Richardson just tossing defenders aside. And another Oklahoma State first down. Texas A&M's going to fall. Notre Dame's going to fall.
I think what I see with this Oklahoma State offense, with Dominic Richardson coming along and being able to run the ball and catch the ball in the backfield like this offense is at a different level when they have that. When they're so dependent on Spencer Sanders to run, I think they're at risk. But when you've got Richardson, I think they become a more complete offense.
I mean, remember, this was a team that was about a half yard away, maybe being in the playoff last year. Sanders again slipped a tackle. Jordan Clark couldn't quite get him down, but did stall him so his teammates could help. Short gain on first down.
Yeah, you know, and you'd have to say, after seeing the way Texas played Alabama today, that the race in the Big 12, could be wide open with Oklahoma State, and Texas.
Baylor certainly in the mix there. Top 10-ish team. Deep ball down the right side, knocked away. Nice play on the ball there. And that was Keon Markham again, intended for Johnson.
Good effort by Markham. Catches up.
Yeah.
Got the left arm in there a little early, but didn't turn him completely. So I think the officials didn't feel like he really impacted the play.
Yeah, that one could have been called.
Could have been. Yeah.
And in the end, it was almost more of a drop than it was a ball knocked away. So 3rd down and 10. Sanders faked the screen, takes another hit, and throws deep, incomplete. Now they threw a penalty flag. The defender put the hit on and then pulled up, and they threw a flag. Now there's 2 more flags downfield of pass interference, I think.
Penalties on the play. Pass interference on the defense number 12. That penalty's declined. Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 49. 15-yard penalty. First down.
The roughing the passer penalty, that's another one where I really do not like that call. Now that one I don't know. But this is what the penalty that ended up being accepted is Trevez Moore. That's roughing the passer.
Yeah. I mean, that's really ticky-tack.
I mean,
that's not a hit. He just hugged him.
Come on. I get safety and protecting quarterbacks, and I'm all for that. And I think we've done a pretty good job of that.
And I get it when a guy rolls into a quarterback late, low, but to wrap a guy up, that's really a shaky call.
Inside the 25, Oklahoma State benefits. Sanders on the move. Sanders is going to run. He'll sprint to the sidelines and forced out just short of the first down. Markham in pursuit. It'll be 3rd down and a couple of yards.
I mean, I get the notion of a quarterback being defenseless, but you want to punish guys for taking cheap shots, not for, arguably holding the guy up. I mean, it's not a big hit.
Not at all. Oklahoma State over 400 yards of total offense now on a soggy night in Stillwater. Under 8.5 minutes to go. ASU not a team that's really built to play from way behind. Handoff left side. And that one is going to be a first down. What an effort by Ollie Gordon, the true freshman. He was stymied, I thought, and somehow he got there.
He pushed 2 tacklers off of him. Watch this individual effort here. There's Sully. Oh, get off me. Man.
That's one of ASU's best defensive players. Play fake. Sanders is going to throw, and Gordon's wide open. Caught. Touchdown. The true freshman from Fort Worth, Ollie Gordon. And Spencer Sanders gets a lot of credit for improvising all drive long.
Oh, man, he bought time, had patience, knows exactly where everybody is supposed to be, sees his man leak out of the backfield, gets it to Gordon. It's well done. He is such an underrated quarterback.
Yeah, I know the mistakes can drive Cowboys fans crazy sometimes. The turnovers, he's had a lot of turnovers in his career, but the spectacular stuff, there's not many who can dial up more spectacular plays than this guy.
Well, he is creative, he's athletic, he's smart, and he's got poise. Look at that little jump throw. Outstanding.
Are you ready? Okay, say no more. She's a Lotus and I'm the conductor of a Magnum.
In the rain in Stillwater, Oklahoma, number 11 Oklahoma State has pushed the lead out to 34-17. Some spectacular stuff from their senior quarterback Spencer Sanders. Improv class on that last drive. So ASU in trouble here on the road. Arizona State got this to within 3. And 2 straight touchdowns unanswered for the Cowboys. Now ASU gets it on the kickoff. Taylor outside the 25, close to the 30.
Talk about an underrated quarterback. Spencer Sanders has been all over this field tonight. Another big week for him. Showed you his legs, rushing for a touchdown. Showed you some poise in the pocket, a little trickeration, waiting, making sure he acts it out perfectly. And he's had a night with the athleticism, little jump throw, Gordon's touchdown. He was responsible for 6 touchdowns last week and has another big night.
Yeah, and I mean, those touchdown plays are worth showing again, but those to me haven't been the most spectacular plays. He's had so many instances where he saved what could have been a disastrous play. That was a disastrous play for ASU. What a collision. Trace Ford in the backfield. He almost took the handoff.
Man, this defensive line, I tell you, every time you think, okay, he's at the bottom here, number 94, Trace Ford. You talk about Lacey, you talk about Martin, and then there shows up Trace Ford again. They've got a number of guys who can do damage.
Valladay did well just to hang on to the ball. 2nd and 14 for the Sun Devils. Running out of time. Jones from the shotgun. Pressure comes. Emory Jones can't get away. Another pressure from that D line. Brock Martin was there. I think he'll get credit for the sack.
And Emory Jones was asking for a flag for a late hit.
Well, if the standard is what we saw on the last drive, then almost anything could be a late hit.
Yeah, particularly the slide and hug that happened to Spencer Sanders. This was more than that. Watch the end of the play here. It's that.
Also, maybe targeting is. He might have been asking for that too.
It's Xavier Benson coming in late.
So it's 3rd and 18 for Herm Edwards' team. Now a flag thrown
Delay game.
for a delay of game.
5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Now the fans that are still here, the place is a lot emptier than it was because of the bad weather, but the fans that are still here are making a lot of noise.
Well, the paddle people are starting to pound on the wall in the end zone.
Yeah, the students haven't really gone anywhere.
Well, they've still got, it's a long night ahead for them. They've still got a couple parties after the game.
You better believe it. 3 sacks for the OSU defense. And a lot more pressures. Jones steps up. He's going to run. Flag thrown. He gets away out into the open field. Jones tripped up and short, but a flag back near the line of scrimmage. And I would imagine this one's coming back. It would be 4th and 4. Where's the ball? There's the ball. It's over there, Steve.
Holding. Offense number 53. Half the distance to the goal. 3rd down.
So instead of 4th and 4, Oklahoma State, I think, would assume that ASU would go for it. So they take the penalty. Chris Martinez, the guard, called for that hold.
They've had an issue with penalties. 9 penalties tonight. Arizona State.
Some terrible.
Yeah. Bad timing.
It's hard to blame. I mean, Arizona State's not going to be the last team this year to struggle with Oklahoma State's defensive line.
That's right. I do think Arizona State has found something in their passing attack that's going to serve them well for the rest of the season.
A little slant screen and the cut up field by Sanders. He gets to the 20. I mean, they got decent yardage on that play, but they needed 31 yards, not anywhere close.
I just think big picture, if there were questions about whether Emory Jones could deliver an intermediate passing attack for them, I think he sort of answered those questions tonight. He made some terrific throws against tough defenses and found some spots. Showed poise in the pocket. I think they discovered something good in their passing attack tonight, whether they get back in this game or not.
That is seeming to be a lot less likely now. A bobbled punt return, though. The punt was not handled cleanly, and good thing for Brennan Presley that he fell on the ball, because that would have been maybe the one avenue for Arizona State actually having a chance. 48-yard punt. Almost a turnover, but no. So Oklahoma State has it when we come back. They have good gear here in Stillwater, in my opinion. My kids would call it merch. I think when you're 46 years old, you can't call it merch.
You can call it swag.
Okay, well, that's borderline for me, too. I may not be allowed to use that term either. Lots of good choices in the old Cowboys team shop. They've been playing football around here for a long time. And they got a really good team here in 2022. They get the ball back, 4.5 minutes to go. And a play that looked like it might be stuffed wasn't stuffed. Dominic Richardson hoping to get to that 100-yard line, and I think he just got there. 24 carries, 100 yards exactly. Plus, he's got 5 catches, 44 yards. We know he can execute a flea flicker. He pitched it back beautifully to Spencer Sanders.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma State staff's going to be really happy with what they found tonight with Richardson. It just changes things so much. It takes pressure off of Spencer Sanders. It allows him to be able to run the ball inside some.
That high tempo offense is going to be a little less high tempo. Richardson way over 100 yards into ASU territory. The Cowboys are just wearing Arizona State down.
Yeah, well, this is what happens with that tempo. You know, you run a lot of plays and the big defensive linemen get tired. And you get big runs like this in the fourth quarter. Huge gaping holes. They've worn out this Arizona State defensive line.
So Dominic Richardson, they may well have identified their lead back. The way he's run tonight.
Yep.
And it could be, look, it's still early. It's only game 2. It could be that maybe Oklahoma State won't have that star sort of lead dog wide receiver this year. Maybe not. They have some talent at that spot. Flag thrown on first down.
You know, they're going to have a showdown in a couple of weeks at Baylor. That is going to be a tremendous game.
Well, there's going to be a huge amount of build-up for Spencer Sanders for that one. Because he's got to play better.
Block below the waist, number 90. He was lined up outside the tackle box and blocked low. 15 yards from the previous spot. First down.
So the illegal block against Oklahoma State.
Yeah, in 2 games against Baylor last season, Spencer Sanders had 7 picks. You know that he'll be looking forward to seeing Baylor again.
They almost overcame a big number of those in the Big 12 championship game.
Yeah. You know, and the 4 he threw in that championship game, a couple of them were really not his fault. They were tip passes that ended up getting picked off. But, you know, he certainly would be looking forward to facing Baylor again and a chance to redeem himself and the Cowboys for losing that championship game last year.
One of the biggest games of the year in the Big 12, undoubtedly. Right side run for Richardson. Well, I think it's got a chance to be a really good year in the Big 12. And who knows, maybe the Pac-12 too. USC looks good. Washington State, great win today. I know everybody, Oregon looked so bad against Georgia in week 1, and then Utah made the mistake at the end of the game when they had a chance to beat Florida.
I still think Utah's going to be fine.
I do too.
I think Utah's going to be fine. I'm having to reevaluate USC now. Put up a lot of points against Stanford.
Yeah. I think you were right to say, you know, everybody needs to be a little cautious with SC. Their defense is vulnerable, but their offense is awesome.
Yeah, Stanford moved the ball on them pretty much at will tonight, but for some turnovers. So, yeah, I'm still concerned about the USC defense, but, man, that offense looks, oof. Caleb Williams, Addison at wide receiver, wow.
Richardson, a little limp, maybe headed back to the huddle. They're huddling. They don't do that very often here.
4-minute offense, trying to bleed the clock a bit.
Or a lot. They're doing a pretty good job of bleeding that clock. 3rd and 13, and Sanders will go into a slide. I mean, I think there's reason for optimism on the football side in the Big 12 for this season. You know, some of the things that stand out. I mean, TCU was really impressive, 9-1 in week 1. West Virginia played Pitt very tough. Pitt's a good team.
Yep.
Texas today, oh so close. We hope Quinn Ewers is all right. He was playing well early in the game, hurt his shoulder. We don't know how long he's going to be out. At least I don't. Texas Tech is off to a 2-0 start. They beat a ranked team today. That's a great win for Joey McGuire. And Baylor, big game tonight going on right now in BYU against a good Cougars team. Short punt here. ASU, last few seconds of this road trip that I think the Sun Devils are going to look back and think a couple penalties, mistakes. If we'd cleaned up even just a few moments in this game, maybe this one was going to come down to the wire.
Well, knowing Herm Edwards, I think he's going to see this as a growth opportunity. 51 new players. He got to see them handle, you know, a rough crowd, rough weather. I think he found something in the passing game tonight that he knows that they have now going forward. The tempo was a little bit of an issue, I think, for them.
And you know who else was an issue for them was Tyler Lacey.
Yes.
Tyler Lacey was so good. The whole defensive line for Oklahoma State was awesome tonight, and that'll be likely the best defensive line that Arizona State faces all year. Final 15 seconds here. And they're just going to run the ball up the middle. And that will be the final play of this game in Stillwater. I think that counts as a solid win for the 11th ranked Cowboys. Not perfect, but very solid.
Without a doubt. And I think they have to be happy. Mike Gundy has to be happy with what he found on offense. And man, that defensive line has got to make you feel really good if you're Gundy or Derek Mason, the defensive coordinator. You got some guys that can play up front for you. Oklahoma State's looking pretty good.
And Spencer Sanders made some real spectacular plays tonight. Running back Dominic Richardson had the big game. Create a few turnovers with that defensive line play. Add it all up. And the Cowboys start 2-0 with an impressive non-conference win here at home against the Sun Devils of ASU. Spencer Sanders and the Cowboys with 10 straight home wins, tying the record for the longest home winning streak. Let's go down on the field to Tiffany.
Coach Gundy, your team had to respond to some adversity tonight, but they were able to battle back and really open things up in that fourth quarter. How were they able to do that?
Well, we ran the football better, and then defensively we were able to get some pass rush. So early in the game we struggled running it, and then our pass rush was average, but we picked up, made really good halftime adjustments, and then the players absorbed all the information, brought it out here to the field. So I was really proud of their effort.
After Spencer Sanders' interception, he came back with 3 touchdowns. He said one of his greatest strengths was being able to let things roll off his back. How is he capable of that?
Maturity. And when he was young, he used to let things like that bother him. Usually take him maybe a quarter to get over it, but now he understands letting it go and just play the next play. So he's done a good job with maturity and helping our team in those situations.
Going back to that run game, Dom Richardson over 130 rushing yards and a touchdown. How dangerous is his offense when he gets going?
Well, Dom is a downhill guy, and if we can just get a little wall blocking up front, he's going to run hard and he's going to bounce off. I thought our running backs really ran hard tonight, and in the second half we ran block much better.
Thanks, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank y'all.
Win number 151 for Mike Gundy in his great Oklahoma State coaching career, and one he's going to savor.
Yeah, he's got to be happy with where things are. And listen, that defensive line is something, and Oklahoma State's going to be a team to be reckoned with. Yeah, for Tiffany Blackman, for Rod Gilmore, Dave Fleming saying so long here from Stillwater. It rained, but not on the parade of the Cowboys. They beat ASU 34-17.
Dave, thank you very much. Chance to go to 3-0 in Stillwater next week when Arkansas Pine Bluff comes to town. Sports Center is underway. It's a college football Saturday with Max McGee. I'm Zubin Mehenti, and plenty, Max, for us to see.
For real. Let's start off with the must-see. Let's go down